Greetings, and a warm welcome to the Sleep Science Top 1. This evening, we shall delve into the enchanting realm of felines. These enigmatic beings have coexisted with humanity for millennia, yet they continue to captivate our imagination. With their velvety coats, soothing purring sounds, and elegant strides, felines have enchanted our souls and sparked our creativity. They embody a blend of untamed spirit and homey warmth, balancing their fierce independence with loving companionship, skilled hunters and loyal friends simultaneously. The tale of domestic house felines is timeless and enchanting, intricately intertwined with human history, like a delicate strand of silk. If you find joy in these serene journeys, I encourage you to hit that like button and subscribe, or share a brief reflection in the comments below. It guides others to this place as well, one drowsy spirit at a time. For the moment, simply take a breath, find your comfort, and let the soothing aura of domestic house felines guide you softly into slumber. Shall we get started? For almost a decade of millennia, domestic house felines have trotted alongside humanity. In the distant past, before the dawn of written records, wild domestic house felines started to venture closer to human habitats. As our forebears laid the groundwork for agriculture and began to hoard grains, they inadvertently attracted mice and rats, lured by the plentiful food supply. And where these rodents thrived, the domestic house felines soon made their presence known. In those distant times, these early domestic house felines were not mere companions, but allies in a timeless bond. The grain stores remained secure as humans ensured a dependable hunting territory. Through the ages, this bond grew stronger. The once timid, wild, domestic house felines began to shed their fears, and humans found joy in their company. In time, a few domestic house felines decided to settle down, nurturing their young ones close to human dwellings and graciously accepting the offerings of food from human hands. This wasn't the usual kind of domestication, where humans selectively bred animals for particular characteristics. Rather, domestic house felines took the initiative to domesticate themselves, opting to be near us while preserving their autonomy. In every nook and cranny of the globe today, domestic house felines roam freely. Yet they still hold the echoes of their ancient ancestors who, with tentative steps, approached the flickering glow of fire thousands of years past. In the eyes of the ancient Egyptian civilization Neans, domestic house felines were held in the highest esteem, regarded as divine creatures. In the realm of Egypt, by the lush shores of the Nile, felines were revered with remarkable esteem. They were regarded as embodiments closely linked to the goddess Bastet, who appeared as a lioness or a household cat. Goddess. Bastet embodied the essence of safeguarding, nurturing, and the softer facets of the sun's might. Families welcomed domestic house felines into their homes not just as guardians against pests, but as cherished beings that bestowed good luck. Inflicting harm on a cat, even unintentionally, could lead to harsh consequences. And when a cherished feline passed away, families would grieve profoundly, occasionally shaving their eyebrows as an expression of sorrow. Domestic house felines were treated with the utmost reverence, meticulously wrapped in exquisite linen and interred alongside offerings to ensure a prosperous journey in the afterlife. Archaeologists have unearthed vast cemeteries brimming with mummified domestic house felines, showcasing the deep reverence these creatures inspired. The Egyptians grasped a profound truth about domestic house felines. Their elegance, their enigma, their unique capacity to straddle the line between the tame and the untamed. By celebrating domestic house felines, they celebrated the harmony that exists between humanity and the wild. Domestic house felines possess the remarkable ability to swivel their ears a full 180 degrees, each one moving independently. A cat's hearing is truly one of its most extraordinary traits. Every ear boasts 32 muscles, granting it the ability to pivot freely in almost any direction. A feline can direct one ear ahead while the other swivels back, tuning in to various sounds at once. This remarkable agility enables domestic house felines to find their prey with precise accuracy, even in total darkness. They perceive sounds that elude human ears, picking up the high-pitched calls of rodents and the subtle movements of insects in the grass. As you observe a cat lounging peacefully, you may catch sight of its ears, ever so slightly twitching, as they attentively scan the surroundings. Though a cat may seem to be in a deep slumber, its ears stay vigilant, swiveling toward any strange noise. This skill has been crucial for their existence, whether in nature or alongside people. When you spot a cat next, take a moment to notice its ears. Observe their graceful movements, each acting like a miniature radar dish, probing the surroundings for insights. This serves as a gentle nudge about the remarkable intricacies of these beings, where each aspect is crafted for heightened awareness and exactness. The soothing, purring sound of a cat resonates at a frequency that could encourage healing. The gentle hum of a cat purring sounding is among the most soothing sounds in the natural world, a soft, steady vibration that appears to resonate from deep inside. Yet, purring sounding signifies much more than mere satisfaction. Studies indicate that the soothing vibrations of a purring sounding cat, usually ranging from 25 to 50 Hz, could offer healing benefits. These frequencies are recognized for their ability to enhance tissue regeneration, alleviate pain, and boost bone density. Certain researchers suggest that domestic house felines' purring sound, not just in moments of joy, but also during times of injury or stress, harnessing the soothing vibrations for self-healing. This could shed light on the reasons behind domestic house felines' purring sounding while in labor, when they're unwell, or even as they approach the end of their lives. Purring sounding could be seen as a method of self-soothing, a technique for domestic house felines to alleviate discomfort and speed up healing. Being close to a purring sounding cat can help humans lower their blood pressure, ease stress, and foster a deep sense of tranquility. The soft hum appears to connect with a profound part of our being, melting away stress and welcoming tranquility. Resting next to a purring sounding cat envelops you in a soothing melody, a balm for both the feline and the attentive listener. Felines enjoy a cozy slumber for about 16 hours daily. Domestic house felines truly master the art of slumber. Typically, a cat dedicates around 16 hours each day to resting, with some felines snoozing for as much as 20 hours. This isn't a matter of laziness. It's simply an expression of their inherent instincts as hunters. In the untamed world, felines are stealthy hunters that depend on quick, explosive energy to seize their next meal. In the intervals of their bustling endeavors, they recharge by indulging in slumber. Domestic house felines still hold on to this natural instinct. Even when sustenance is offered effortlessly, their slumber is not consistently profound. Domestic house felines often drift into a gentle slumber, remaining attuned to their environment and poised to leap into action when the moment calls for it. Merely a quarter of their slumber delves into the profound, rejuvenating phases where dreams take flight. In these instances, you may observe a dozing cat as it twitches its feline paws, flicks its feline tail, or emits tiny chirping noises. They are lost in a reverie, reliving the pursuit, the thrill of the chase, the moment of the leap. Observing a cat in slumber reveals the mastery of relaxation. They seek out the coziest nooks, nestle into flawless loops, and yield entirely to tranquility. In a realm that frequently insists on relentless activity, domestic house felines teach us the importance of embracing tranquility. The vibrissae of a cat stretch out to match the width of its body, guiding it through narrow passages with ease. Vibrissae serve a purpose beyond mere decoration. Known as vibrissae, these unique hairs are intricately rooted within a cat's body and linked to its nervous system. They possess an extraordinary sensitivity to vibration and touch, functioning as finely tuned instruments that enable a cat to perceive its surroundings. The vibrissae, adorning a cat's face, usually span the same width as its body, enabling the feline to assess if it can squeeze through tight outer astrocat missions. When the vibrissae brush against the edges of a outer astrocat mission, the cat realizes its body won't squeeze through. Domestic house felines possess vibrissae not only above their eyes, but also on their chins and the backs of their front legs, with each set offering unique insights into their surroundings. In low light or complete darkness, vibrissae take on heightened significance, sensing air movements and the closeness of nearby objects. As a cat prowls in pursuit, its vibrissae extend forward, allowing it to detect the precise location of its target, even in moments of obscured vision. Vibrissae convey feelings too. In a state of calm, a cat's vibrissae softly settle. When feeling curious or excited, they gesture ahead. In moments of fear, they press tightly against the visage. Watching a cat's vibrissae is like deciphering a secret language, revealing its feelings and desires through the delicate dance of these extraordinary sensory instruments. Domestic house felines possess a unique collarbone that grants them remarkable agility. In contrast to humans and numerous other creatures, a cat's collarbone is not firmly connected to the rest of its skeletal structure. Rather, it drifts freely, woven into the fabric of muscle. The remarkable structure of a cat's body bestows upon them an extraordinary flexibility, enabling them to contort in mid-air, slip through the tiniest of openings, and touch down with elegance after a tumble. This is the reason a cat can spring from a lofty height, twist gracefully mid-air, and touch down gently on its feline paws. The righting reflex starts to take shape in baby cats when they are merely a few weeks old. The collarbone, unanchored, enhances a cat's graceful, fluid-like motion. Observe a feline gracefully traverse a slender ledge or squeeze through an opening just wide enough for its head, and you are witnessing the incredible outcome of this extraordinary skeletal evolution. Their spines boast remarkable flexibility, featuring more vertebrae than those found in humans, along with enhanced elasticity in between each one. Combined, these traits render domestic house felines among the most nimble beings on the planet. They glide as though the very fabric of reality shifts to accommodate them, traversing the cosmos with an elegance that feels enchantingly surreal. Newborn baby cats arrive in the world with their eyes tightly shut and their ears tucked away. A newborn kitten emerges into the world, tiny, delicate, and utterly reliant on others. Its eyes remain tightly closed, while its little ears lie pressed flat against its head. In the initial week or so, the kitten depends completely on its mother, using its keen senses of touch and smell to find its way. Blind and deaf, it still seeks out its mother's comforting embrace and discovers the nourishing milk with remarkable precision. Approximately a week to 10 days post-birth, the kitten's eyes start to unveil themselves, showcasing hazy blue irises that will eventually transform in hue. The ears unfurl and slowly stand tall, granting the kitten its first taste of sound. The initial phase is vital for growth. The little feline is exploring its surroundings with a fresh perspective, forging connections in its mind that will influence its actions for years to come. At around 3 weeks old, most baby cats have developed their sight and hearing sufficiently to start venturing out from their cozy nest. They falter on wobbly limbs, collide with barriers, and discover through experimentation. Observing a kitten's development in these early weeks feels akin to experiencing a delicate wonder, as this little being slowly comes to life, discovering the vibrant tapestry of its surroundings. Every kitten enters the world with striking blue eyes, which may transform into a different hue as they grow. Gaze into the eyes of a newborn kitten, and you'll discover a soft, misty blue hue. The kitten's eye color isn't its permanent hue. Rather, it's a fleeting characteristic, resulting from the absence of pigment in the iris and the way light dances through the maturing eye. As the little feline matures, unique cells, known as melanocytes, start to generate pigment, revealing its true hue. The metamorphosis typically starts at about 6 to 7 weeks of age and may persist until the kitten reaches several months of age. Certain domestic house felines, especially breeds such as Siamese or ragdolls, keep their striking blue eyes, while others transition to hues of green, gold, amber, or copper. The ultimate hue is shaped by genetics, particularly the quantity and kind of melanin that settles in the iris. Witnessing a kitten grow is a delightful journey filled with subtle transformations. Eyes that were once plain and indistinct gradually gain depth and radiance, uncovering the distinct personality the kitten is evolving into. This serves as a gentle nudge that even the tiniest aspects of nature adhere to complex, stunning designs. A gathering of domestic house felines is known as a clouder, whereas a collection of baby cats is referred to as a kindle. The world of language is filled with delightful surprises, and the collective terms for domestic house felines are certainly a highlight. A gathering of domestic house felines is known as a clouder. The term carries a charmingly antiquated vibe, conjuring visions of felines basking in a sun-drenched courtyard or stealthily navigating dimly lit streets together. A collection of baby cats is known as a kindle, a term that also signifies the act of igniting or sparking a flame. Baby cats truly embody a delightful essence, infusing warmth and light into their surroundings, their playful spirit illuminating every corner of a room. Additional terms exist too. A male cat is often referred to as a tom, whereas a female is known as a queen, a fitting title considering the majestic demeanor that many domestic house felines exhibit. Groups of wild or feral domestic house felines cohabiting are often called a colony, particularly when they inhabit the same territory and exhibit a social framework. These phrases evoke the deep-rooted and intricate bond we share with our feline companions, steeped in history and warmth. An entire lexicon has been crafted to articulate their nature, to encapsulate a fragment of their essence through words. Every phrase serves as a heartfelt homage to the special role domestic house felines play in our existence. Domestic house felines possess a unique nictitating membrane known as a whore, which serves to safeguard their precious eyes. Observe a cat closely, particularly when it's just stirring from sleep or not feeling its best, and you may catch sight of a delicate, see-through membrane gliding over the inner corner of its eye. The nictitating membrane, often referred to as the nictitating membrane, is also called the whore. Often concealed from view, it can stretch across the eye, offering extra defense and hydration. The whore plays a vital role in maintaining eye cleanliness, effortlessly brushing away dust and debris while ensuring that tears are evenly spread across the eye's surface. Out in the wilderness, this added shield proves essential as a cat navigates through towering grass or enters into a skirmish. When a cat is unwell or lacking hydration, the nictitating membrane can become more pronounced, serving as a clear indicator to observant caretakers that all is not well. Domestic house felines possess this characteristic alongside a variety of other creatures, such as birds, reptiles, and certain mammals. A delicate yet sophisticated element of anatomy, this concealed mechanism operates silently to ensure a cat's eyes remain vibrant and pristine. The nictitating membrane, much like various traits of our feline friends, serves as a fascinating nod to their untamed ancestry and the evolutionary changes that have enabled their survival. The noseprint of a cat is as distinctive as a human fingerprint. Much like the uniqueness of human fingerprints, each cat possesses a nose that is entirely its own. The distinctive arrangement of ridges and bumps on a cat's nose serves as a one-of-a-kind biological signature, potentially usable for identification purposes. Although we don't usually rely on noseprints like we do with fingerprints, the distinctiveness of every cat's nose serves as a lovely testament to the uniqueness found in nature. Upon examining your cat's nose, you'll discover an intricate terrain of delicate lines and textures, a unique little map all its own. This uniqueness goes far beyond just the nose. Every cat boasts a unique personality, distinct preferences, and charming quirks. There are those who embrace boldness and adventure, contrasted by those who tread carefully and hold back. Some crave unwavering love, snuggling into laps and purring sounding with delight at the faintest caress, while others uphold a noble distance, providing friendship when it suits them. A cat's noseprint is a singular mark, a tiny reflection of the profound reality that each cat is a distinct being, molded by its genes, life experiences, and the enigmatic blend that forms its character. Domestic. House felines possess scent glands, located on their cheeks, feline paws, and at the base of their feline tail. A feline navigates its surroundings through a tapestry of scents, exploring realms beyond our comprehension. They assert their presence and convey messages to fellow felines through the use of scent glands found in various important regions of their bodies. The most notable glands are located on their cheeks, which explains why a cat frequently nuzzles its face against furniture, doorways, or even your legs. This action, known as bunting, transcends simple affection. This act serves as a declaration of ownership over both you and the surrounding area, marking it with pheromones that communicate, "This belongs to me. This is a safe haven." Domestic house felines possess scent glands located on the pads of their feline paws, which explains their tendency to scratch various objects. The scratching leaves behind a visual trace and an aromatic signal, delivering a dual message to fellow felines. The feline tail's base is home to glands too, and when domestic house felines are feeling especially safe and happy, they might rub this spot against various objects. To us, these scent marks remain unseen, yet for a cat, they weave a complex, textured tapestry of their surroundings. Each item, each nook, holds a story of who has passed through and when. In a home bustling with multiple domestic house felines, this olfactory dialogue grows increasingly intricate, a wordless exchange crafted in the language of scents. When a cat brushes against you, it's signaling that you're now a cherished member of its clan. Few sights are as charming as a cat sauntering over, curving its back, and nuzzling its head and body against your leg. This action reflects a blend of trust and warmth, while also serving a practical purpose. The cat, by nuzzling against you, is leaving its scent behind, designating you as part of its social circle. Within the realm of felines, well-known aromas foster a feeling of security and connection. When a cat intertwines its scent with yours, it crafts a collective identity, a familial aroma that conveys warmth and bond. This is the reason domestic house felines frequently nuzzle against you upon your return home after some time apart. They are rekindling the connection, reviving the fragrance that might have diminished during your time away. When you have several domestic house felines, you might observe them nuzzling against one another, exchanging scents and strengthening their social connections. This action is known as collar rubbing, and it serves as one of the methods through which domestic house felines foster unity within their social circle. Being marked by a cat signifies acceptance, a declaration of kinship. It is a subtle privilege, a testament to your rightful spot in the realm of the feline. Domestic house felines possess the ability to produce more than 100 distinct vocalizations, surpassing the range of sounds made by dogs. Though dogs are famous for their barks, domestic house felines showcase a vocal range that is much more diverse and intricate. Experts believe that felines are capable of generating more than 100 unique sounds, each carrying its own significance and context. The well-known meows, utilized by domestic house felines, mainly to engage with humans instead of their fellow felines. While baby cats call out to their mothers with sweet meows, adult domestic house felines seldom engage in such vocalizations with each other. Domestic house felines have uniquely modified their meows to engage with us, often adjusting their sounds to elicit a reaction from their human friends. In addition to meows, you'll find a symphony of trills, chirps, chatters, hisses, growls, yowls, and naturally, the soothing purring sounds. Every sound tells its own unique story. A trill frequently serves as a warm welcome or a beckoning to join in. A cat might let out a series of chattering sounds while observing birds from a window, expressing a mix of excitement and frustration. A hiss serves as a distinct alert, whereas a yowl may indicate discomfort, territorial conflicts, or calls for mating. The variety and nuance of these sounds unveil the intricate nature of cat communication. Domestic house felines may not show affection like dogs do, but they certainly have their own ways of expressing themselves. All you have to do is immerse yourself in their language, pay attention to the diverse sounds they produce, and grasp the situations in which those sounds come alive. Domestic house felines have crafted the meow as a unique sound to engage with humans. In nature, grown domestic house felines seldom meow to one another. They express themselves using body language, scents, and various vocal sounds, yet the meow is mostly missing from their exchanges. Baby cats meow to capture their mother's attention, yet, as they grow older, they typically cease this vocalization with fellow felines. Yet, as domestic house felines started to share their lives with humans, they realized that meowing was a clever way to capture our attention. For millennia, domestic house felines have honed their craft, discovering the meows that coax us into serving food, unlocking doors, or showering them with love. Certain domestic house felines craft unique meows, feline-tailored for particular needs, and observant owners can frequently tell apart a meow for a meal, a meow signaling a desire to venture outdoors, and a meow that simply demands some attention. This is an extraordinary instance of communication across species, showcasing how domestic house felines have modified their behavior to connect their realm with ours. The meow serves as a unique form of communication crafted for our interaction, a sound that thrives in the realm shared by humans and domestic house felines alike. When your cat meows at you, it is communicating in a language crafted solely for this moment, this bond. Domestic house felines possess an extraordinary sense of balance, thanks to the unique structure of their inner ear. Observe a feline gracefully traverse the slim edge of a fence, spring onto an elevated shelf, or maneuver through a chaotic countertop, and you are witnessing the marvel of an exceptional sense of equilibrium. The remarkable skill stems from the unique design of a cat's inner ear, housing the vestibular system. This system is exceptionally refined in domestic house felines, granting them a keen perception of their body's position and movement within their environment. The vestibular system collaborates seamlessly with the cat's agile spine, strong hind legs, and stable center of gravity, resulting in a creature that is remarkably sure-footed. Domestic house. House felines possess an incredible ability to subtly shift their posture and movement instinctively, enabling them to traverse tricky surfaces with remarkable assurance. This remarkable equilibrium also plays a key role in their renowned skill of always landing on their feet. As a cat tumbles through the air, its vestibular system springs into action, quickly determining the direction of up. In a graceful twist, the cat's body rotates, ensuring its feline paws are perfectly aligned for landing. This remarkable righting reflex, paired with their adaptable spine, enables them to twist and maneuver even in the briefest of falls. This is a marvel of biological craftsmanship, honed through countless millennia of evolution. A cat in freefall has the remarkable ability to rotate its body, ensuring it lands gracefully on its feline paws. The legendary skill of a cat to always land on its feet after a tumble is well-deserved and fascinating. The ability, referred to as the righting reflex, stands out as one of nature's most remarkable displays of acrobatic prowess. As a cat starts to tumble, its inner ear swiftly relays sensory signals, guiding it to discern the direction of up. In the blink of an eye, the cat initiates a graceful twist, beginning with its head and front feline paws, seamlessly flowing through its spine and hind legs. Due to the absence of a functional collarbone and their remarkably flexible spine, domestic house felines possess the ability to twist the front and back halves of their bodies independently. This enables them to right themselves, even when plummeting from modest heights. Curiously, felines require a specific height to ensure their reflexes function effectively. When a cat tumbles from a low perch, like a table, it often lacks the time needed to execute a full rotation. In contrast, a drop from a higher place gives the reflexes the chance to spring into action completely. Nonetheless, plunges from great elevations can remain perilous. Even with their remarkable righting reflex, domestic house felines have been known to endure falls from incredible heights, yet they are not impervious to harm. The righting reflex serves as a vital survival tool, yet it is not a mystical phenomenon. It's the dance of physics, the rhythm of biology, and the legacy of millions of years of evolution converging in a single moment. Domestic house felines possess the remarkable ability to leap as far as 6 times their own body length in one bound. A cat's leap showcases an incredible burst of athletic prowess. The powerful hind legs, boasting robust muscles and agile joints, enable a cat to leap upward and forward with astonishing strength. A healthy cat can typically spring to a height that is 5 to 6 times its own length, allowing it to effortlessly bound onto kitchen counters or the tops of refrigerators. The capacity to leap is crucial for both pursuing prey and evading threats. In nature, felines harness their incredible jumping abilities to ambush unsuspecting prey from above, or swiftly ascend trees when faced with the danger of larger foes. Even without the necessity to hunt or escape, domestic house felines still possess this remarkable ability. A cat may unexpectedly launch itself into the air, as if driven by an invisible force, or effortlessly soar across a room in one graceful leap. This is pure instinct at play, a joyous dance of movement, a tribute to the incredible capabilities of their bodies. Observing a cat get ready to leap is a captivating display of concentration and anticipation. They hunker down, gazes locked on the prey, their bodies tense and ready. In a burst of vibrant energy, they propel themselves through the cosmos, elegant and exact. It serves as a reminder that even the most homebound feline holds the essence of a fierce predator within. Domestic, 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 house felines dedicate a considerable amount of their awake time to the art of self-grooming. When a cat isn't napping, munching, or frolicking, it's probably busy tidying itself up. Domestic house felines are fastidious creatures, dedicating nearly half of their awake time to grooming their fur and tidying their feline paws. This conduct fulfills various functions. To start, it eliminates dirt, debris, and stray hair, ensuring the coat remains clean and vibrant. Additionally, grooming plays a crucial role in maintaining body temperature. As a cat grooms itself, the saliva on its fur evaporates, creating a refreshing, cooling sensation, akin to how humans sweat. During chilly days, grooming puffs up the fur, capturing air and offering warmth. Additionally, grooming serves as a means of solace and a way to alleviate stress. The rhythmic action and the surge of endorphins foster a soothing sensation, explaining why domestic house felines frequently engage in grooming when feeling anxious or overwhelmed. Domestic house felines engage in a delightful ritual known as allogrooming, where they groom one another, enhancing their social connections. When two domestic house felines engage in mutual grooming, they showcase their trust and affection, strengthening their bond. For a lone feline, grooming transforms into a sacred practice of self-nurturing, a means to uphold both physical vitality and emotional harmony. Observing a cat as it meticulously cleans itself is utterly mesmerizing. The gentle, measured caresses of the tongue, the meticulous care given to each strand of fur, the almost trance-like precision with which they groom between their toes. This serves as a gentle nudge to prioritize self-care, discovering tranquility in the beauty of simple, rhythmic tasks. The tongue of a cat is adorned with minuscule, hook-like barbs known as papillae. If you've ever experienced the gentle caress of a cat's tongue, you might have noticed its texture rough and gritty, reminiscent of sandpaper. This surface is crafted from countless minuscule, backward-facing projections known as papillae. These formations consist of keratin, the very substance that composes human nails, and the claws of domestic house felines. The papillae play a variety of crucial roles. They assist the cat in grooming with precision, capturing and eliminating stray fur, grime, and pesky parasites. The curved design functions like a brush, untangling hair and spreading natural oils across the fur. The papillae play a role in the act of drinking as well. As a cat drinks, the tiny barbs on its tongue work to pull the water into its mouth. Moreover, these spines serve a practical purpose by helping a cat scrape meat from bones while feasting on its catch. Although domestic house felines seldom find themselves in the position of tearing meat from bones, they still hold on to this ancient trait. The coarse surface of a cat's tongue serves as a remarkable illustration of how each feline tail of a cat's body is meticulously adapted for survival. This tool has stood the test of time, remaining largely the same for millions of years due to its remarkable effectiveness. A cat's lick is more than a simple display of love. It is nurturing you, weaving you into its clan, embracing you as it would another feline companion. Domestic house felines possess retractable claws that remain sharp, safeguarded when not in action. The claws of a cat serve as essential instruments for scaling heights, pursuing prey, protecting itself, and establishing its domain. In contrast to the ever-extended claws of dogs, domestic house felines possess the remarkable ability to retract their claws. As a cat strolls or relaxes, its claws remain tucked away, safely hidden beneath a layer of fur and skin. This maintains their edge and stops them from dulling with daily activity. When a feline requires its claws, unique muscles and tendons stretch them forth, poised for action. The retractable design is a key factor in making domestic house felines such skilled hunters. With stealthy grace, they glide through their surroundings, their claws concealed until the perfect moment arrives to unleash them for capturing prey or scaling a tree. The keen edge of a cat's claws is preserved by the routine shedding of their outer layer and the act of scratching. As a cat scratches at a surface, it's not merely honing its claws, it's also shedding the old, worn outer layer to unveil the sharp, fresh claw hidden underneath. Scratching is a natural behavior and essential for domestic house felines, which is why even pampered indoor felines will look for scratching posts or furniture to satisfy this urge. It's not a matter of misbehavior, it's simply biology at play. Offering suitable avenues for this behavior honors a cat's instincts and requirements. Scratching is an instinctive action that allows domestic house felines to remove their old claw sheaths. While scratching can be a source of annoyance for cat owners, it's important to recognize that this behavior is a fundamental need for domestic house felines. It is an essential part of life. A cat's scratch isn't an act of furniture destruction, even if it appears that way. The feline is diligently grooming its claws, shedding the old, worn layer to unveil the sleek, sharp talon beneath. Perhaps you've come across these abandoned sheaths, delicate, see-through remnants resembling empty claws that linger on scratching posts or carpets. Scratching acts as a way for a cat to elongate the muscles in its legs, shoulders, and back. Waking from a deep slumber, a satisfying scratch feels akin to a yoga stretch, elongating the body and easing away stress. Moreover, when domestic house felines scratch, they release scent from the glands in their feline paws, which helps them mark their territory and communicate with fellow felines. For a feline, scratching serves as a blend of physical upkeep, a form of exercise, and a means of communication, all encapsulated in a single action. Grasping this concept enables cat owners to offer suitable scratching options and steer the behavior away from their furniture. Domestic house felines aren't acting destructively out of malice. They are just embracing their feline nature, adhering to instincts that have guided them successfully for eons. A cat enjoys a broader field of vision compared to humans, allowing for enhanced peripheral sight. Gazing at a cat head-on, you find yourself peering into the eyes of a predator. Their prominent, forward-facing eyes grant remarkable depth perception, essential for accurately gauging distances while leaping towards their next meal. Yet, what truly astounds is the remarkable peripheral vision of a cat. Humans enjoy a field of view around 180 degrees, whereas domestic house felines boast an impressive sight range of about 200 degrees. This expansive vision enables domestic house felines to sense motion on both sides without the need to swivel their heads, providing them with a crucial edge while hunting or staying alert for threats. Yet, a compromise exists. Domestic house felines trade a bit of sharpness in their sight for a broader perspective. Their ability to see far isn't as keen as that of a human, yet they excel at noticing movement rather than focusing on intricate, defeline tails. When you get right up to them, about a foot away, domestic house felines struggle to bring things into focus. This explains why a cat might choose to sniff or nudge an object brought near its face instead of just gazing at it. Yet in the middle ground, where the chase unfolds, their sight is exceptional. They are masters of movement detection, which explains why even a satiated house cat can become utterly captivated by a flitting insect or a toy being pulled along the ground. Their gaze is sharply attuned to the pursuit, ready for that instant when motion transforms into a chance. Domestic house felines have superior vision in dim light compared to humans, yet they are unable to see in total darkness. A common misconception surrounding domestic house felines is the belief that they possess the ability to see in complete darkness. Even though domestic house felines possess remarkable night vision, much better than humans, they still require a bit of light to navigate their surroundings. Their remarkable ability to see in dim light is rooted in the unique design of their eyes. Domestic house felines possess a remarkable abundance of rod cells, the photoreceptors that excel at sensing light and movement. Though they lack the ability to perceive color, humans possess a greater number of cone cells, enabling us to perceive color and intricate feline tails in well-lit environments. However, the plentiful rods in domestic house felines grant them heightened sensitivity to low-light conditions. Moreover, felines possess a unique layer of tissue situated behind their retina, known as the tapetum lucidum. This reflective layer serves as a mirror, redirecting light back through the retina and providing the photoreceptors with another opportunity to seize it. This is the reason cat eyes appear to shimmer in the dark when illuminated by light. The gleam you observe is the reflection from the tapetum lucidum. Domestic house felines possess the remarkable ability to see in extremely dim light, outshining humans by a factor of 6 to 8 times. Yet in utter darkness, where light is entirely absent, domestic house felines find themselves as blind as we are. Instead, they depend on their other senses, especially hearing, vibrissae, and their keen sense of smell to find their way. At night, the luminous gaze of a cat is due to a shiny layer known as the tapetum lucidum. The haunting brilliance of a cat's eyes, piercing through the darkness, is truly captivating. As car headlights glide over a cat perched by the roadside, or when a flashlight pierces the shadows of a dim room, the cat's eyes shimmer with an ethereal glow, frequently in shades of green or gold. The tapetum lucidum, a unique layer of cells situated behind the retina, is responsible for this phenomenon. The tapetum serves as a natural mirror, bouncing light that travels through the retina back out once more. This provides the cat's photoreceptors with an additional chance to sense light, greatly improving their vision in dim environments. The tapetum lucidum isn't exclusive to felines. Many nocturnal and crepuscular creatures, such as dogs, deer, and raccoons, exhibit this characteristic. The tapetum structures vary among species, resulting in a spectrum of colors in their eyeshine. The hue of a cat's glow is typically influenced by the minerals present in the tapetum, showcasing a spectrum that spans green, yellow, blue, and orange. This transformation showcases the art of evolution, skillfully designing refined answers to ecological dilemmas. For a being that prowls during the crepuscular hunting zones, possessing keen vision in low light is not merely advantageous, it is vital for its very existence. Domestic house felines thrive in the crepuscular hunting zones, showcasing their energy and playfulness at dawn and dusk. It's a common belief that domestic house felines are creatures of the night, as they often display bursts of energy after the sun goes down. Domestic house felines, in truth, are creatures of the twilight, thriving in the magical hours of dawn and dusk when the world is bathed in soft light. This conduct stems from their untamed lineage, the small rodents and birds that wild domestic house felines pursue are at their most active during these hours. Chasing the thrill of the hunt during the early morning and crepuscular hunting zones offers numerous benefits. The dim lighting provides a cloak of concealment, allowing domestic house felines to stealthily pursue their prey, while their exceptional night vision grants them a distinct advantage over their unsuspecting targets. This innate rhythm endures in domestic house felines, even in those who have never experienced the thrill of the hunt. Observe how your feline friend transforms into a bundle of energy during the early hours, or at dusk, darting through the home, leaping onto toys, or indulging in what many refer to as the zoomies. This isn't just random antics. It's the cat's internal clock chiming in, announcing that the hunt is on. Indoor, domestic house felines require an outlet for their energy, making interactive play during these prime moments essential for fulfilling their instincts and enhancing the connection between feline and owner. Grasping the innate patterns of a cat can foster a more peaceful home environment. The vibrissae of a cat serve as a guide, allowing it to sense whether it can squeeze through a tight spot. Vibrissae are more than delightful adornments. They serve as finely tuned tools of precision. The vibrissae of a cat, known as vibrissae, are roughly the same width as the cat's body. This is not just a chance occurrence as a feline nears a slender crevice. It deftly employs its vibrissae to gauge the width of the passage. When the vibrissae glide through unbent, the cat realizes its whole form can follow suit. When the vibrissae brush against the edges of the opening, the cat realizes it might become trapped and frequently decides against trying to squeeze through. This is a swift, intuitive assessment that occurs without deliberate consideration. Vibrissae pick up on subtle shifts in air currents and can perceive nearby objects without needing to touch them directly. They are essential for guiding the way in darkness or in confined areas where sight is restricted. Domestic house. House felines possess vibrissae that arch gracefully above their eyes, activating a swift blink reflex when an object encroaches too closely. Additionally, they sport vibrissae on the backs of their front legs, which aid in detecting the position and movement of their captured prey. Vibrissae possess an extraordinary sensitivity, leading some domestic house felines to experience stress when eating from bowls that press against them, a phenomenon often referred to as whisker fatigue. Honoring a cat's vibrissae involves recognizing their significance and creating outer astrocat missions that allow these remarkable senses to thrive without any unease. Domestic house felines possess an innate hunting instinct, regardless of being well-fed and residing indoors. Even a feline that has always been well-fed and has spent its whole life inside holds deep within it the instincts of a predator. The urge to hunt isn't driven by hunger. It's rooted in instinct, honed through practice, and fulfilled by the joy of participating in a behavior that is fundamentally ingrained in the cat's psyche. This is the reason a satisfied cat continues to stalk, chase, and pounce on toys, insects, or even the elusive imaginary prey. Domestic house felines exhibit a fascinating sequence in their hunting rituals. They begin by stalking their target, then transition into a chase, followed by a swift pounce, capturing their prey, and occasionally indulging in playful antics or carrying it around. For wild felines, this series culminates in a feast. For domestic house felines, the chase might just fizzle out when the prey goes still. This can perplex humans, particularly when a cat returns with a lifeless mouse or bird, only to quickly lose interest in its prize. The cat wasn't on the prowl for a meal. It was indulging in an instinctual activity that provides both pleasure and mental engagement. For indoor felines, engaging in play that simulates the thrill of the hunt is crucial for their mental and physical well-being. Toys that engage with unpredictable motions, resembling the movements of prey, can serve as a perfect outlet for these instincts. Withholding a cat's chance to engage in hunting, even through play, may result in boredom, frustration, and various behavioral issues. Certain felines present their humans with lifeless catches, embodying a gesture of sharing or imparting knowledge. Among the more perplexing, and for certain individuals, disconcerting actions of felines is their inclination to present lifeless or ailing creatures to their human friends. A tiny mouse abandoned on the doorstep, a delicate bird gently arranged upon the bed. These are presents that can elicit a spectrum of responses, from shock to bewilderment to an unexpected sense of gratitude. The reasons for this behavior remain somewhat elusive, yet various theories abound. Certain researchers suggest that domestic house felines might be sharing their prey, similar to how they would with their family in a colony. Some believe that domestic house felines, especially the females, are trying to instruct their humans in the art of hunting, similar to how a queen cat guides her baby cats. In nature, a queen cat presents her baby cats with live or deceased prey, giving them the chance to hone their hunting abilities. Given that numerous domestic house felines appear to perceive their humans as somewhat inept family members, especially when it comes to hunting skills, they might actually be attempting to lend a paw. Another option is that the cat is merely transporting its trophy to a secure location, its own domain, where it can be enjoyed or kept for later. This behavior, whatever the cause, reflects a deep sense of trust and connection among individuals. The cat is inviting you into its realm, revealing something significant. Though the gift itself may not be to one's liking, it is a gesture rooted in a sense of connection. Domestic house felines possess a remarkable sense of smell, though it doesn't quite match the strength of dogs. Though dogs are renowned for their exceptional sense of smell, domestic house felines also possess a remarkably advanced olfactory system. A cat's olfactory prowess is approximately 14 times more acute than that of a human. They have around 200 million scent receptors in their nasal tissues, compared to a human's 5 million. Domestic house felines rely on their keen sense of smell to explore their surroundings, recognize fellow creatures, locate food, and convey messages through scent marking. The sense of smell is vital in a cat's existence. Starting right from their birth, blind and deaf, newborn baby cats rely on their keen sense of smell to seek out their mother and discover the precious milk they need. As they develop, scent guides them through their environment and aids in grasping social dynamics. When felines cross paths, they frequently engage in a sniffing ritual, collecting insights about each other's identity, well-being, and emotional vibe. Domestic house felines possess a unique scent organ known as the vomeronasal organ, or Jacobson's organ, which is situated on the roof of their mouth. When a cat catches a whiff of something intriguing, it might part its mouth just a bit and curl back its lips, creating an expression that resembles a grimace. This phenomenon is known as the Flamen response, enabling air to flow over the vomeronasal organ, which offers even richer insights. Domestic house felines navigate a hidden dimension of reality through their sense of smell, a realm that remains largely unseen by our eyes. Domestic house felines utilize the Flamen response to thoroughly investigate specific aromas. The Flamen response is a fascinating behavior that a cat can exhibit. Imagine a cat discovering an unfamiliar aroma, maybe the lingering trace of another feline or a captivating patch on the earth. The cat halts, inhales with intent, then parts its mouth just a tad, curls its lips back, and maintains that look for a brief moment, appearing as though it has encountered something distasteful. The Flamen response is a fascinating behavior that plays a crucial role when a cat opens its mouth and draws in air over the vomeronasal organ. It's like it's savoring the atmosphere, picking up on pheromones and other chemical cues that a simple sniff might overlook. This organ is especially attuned to aromas tied to social interactions and reproductive signals. When male domestic house felines catch a whiff of a female in heat, they frequently exhibit the Fleeman response. Both male and female domestic house felines utilize it to collect intricate feline tales about other domestic house felines and creatures in their surroundings. The Fleeman response serves as a fascinating glimpse into the scent-driven world of domestic house felines, a silent form of communication that eludes our senses, yet profoundly influences their perception of the environment surrounding them. When you spot a cat pulling that peculiar expression, it's not just being goofy, it's deciphering a message crafted in molecules. Domestic house felines express their feelings and intentions through the movements of their feline tails. The feline tail of a cat serves as a vibrant communicator, a dynamic signal that conveys its feelings and desires to those who understand its language. A feline tail raised proudly, with a gentle bend at the end, often indicates a sense of assurance and satisfaction. A cat that approaches with its feline tail held high is probably in a friendly mood and might be looking for some interaction. A feline tail fluffed up like a bottle brush signals either fear or aggression. The feline is attempting to project a more formidable and imposing presence. A feline tail pressed closely to the body indicates a sense of submission or apprehension. A feline tail that whips or thuds back and forth indicates a state of unrest or annoyance. When you're giving a cat some love and you notice its feline tail starting to twitch or whip, take heed. This is usually a sign that the feline is nearing its breaking point and could resort to biting or scratching if you don't ease up on the affection. A feline tail that sways softly can signal concentration, like when a cat is intently observing its prey or getting ready to leap. Countless nuanced differences exist, and each cat may possess its own distinctive feline tail communication style. Watching a cat's feline tail in various scenarios reveals much about its feelings and guides you in reacting suitably. The feline tail serves as a glimpse into the cat's soul, a silent language that unfolds continuously, waiting for us to notice. A gentle, languid wag of the feline tail can indicate annoyance rather than joy, unlike in dogs. A prevalent misconception that often arises between felines and their human companions, particularly those accustomed to canines, is the interpretation of a feline tail in motion. A wagging feline tail in dogs typically signals joy or enthusiasm. With domestic house felines, the situation frequently flips. A cat's feline tail swaying gently from side to side or thumping on the ground often indicates feelings of annoyance, frustration, or being overstimulated. A cat with a swiftly flicking feline tail could be teetering on the edge of aggression. Beware. This is a cautionary signal, a message that conveys, stay away. Numerous individuals have found themselves taken aback by a sudden bite or scratch from a seemingly content cat, all due to a misinterpretation of the feline tail cues. Felines and canines communicate in distinct dialects, and their feline tails serve as a prime illustration of this difference. Mastering the art of interpreting a cat's feline tail is crucial for anyone seeking to truly comprehend and honor these fascinating creatures. When you're engaging with a cat and you notice its feline tail starting to sway in a slow, intentional manner, it's best to pause your actions and allow the cat some room to breathe. Honoring these cues fosters safer, more uplifting exchanges and cultivates a bond grounded in shared comprehension. Domestic house felines frequently engage in kneading with their feline paws, a charming behavior that harks back to their days as baby cats. A delightful behavior that domestic house felines often exhibit is kneading, where they rhythmically press their feline paws, switching between left and right, into a cozy surface, like a blanket, a pillow, or even your lap. This conduct stems from their early days as baby cats. As they nurse, tiny baby cats rhythmically knead their mother's belly, encouraging the flow of nourishing milk. The movement brings a sense of solace, intertwined with feelings of warmth, security, and sustenance. As felines mature, numerous ones hold on to this habit, kneading when they experience feelings of happiness, tranquility, or a desire for solace. Domestic house felines often knead before curling up for a nap, crafting their cozy nook, much like their forebears who would pat down the grass or leaves beneath them. Some pets gently knead their humans, a gesture often seen as a profound expression of love and confidence. The cat regards you with the same affection it shows its mother, linking you to feelings of safety and warmth. Certain domestic house felines emit a soothing purring sound as they knead, and a select few may even let a bit of drool escape, showcasing their deep sense of bliss. Kneading might feel a bit prickly when those claws are extended, but it's all in good spirit and not intended to hurt. It is a remnant of childhood, a journey back to an era when existence was uncomplicated and safe. Observing a cat knead evokes thoughts of how early experiences shape us and highlights our ongoing desire for comfort and connection. Domestic house felines frequently curl up in elevated spots, as it provides them a sense of security. If you've ever pondered why your feline friend chooses to nap atop the refrigerator, a lofty shelf, or the back of the couch, the explanation is rooted in their instincts. In nature, high ground offers protection. A feline lounging in an elevated perch enjoys a safer position from potential threats and gains an advantageous view of its environment. Despite the absence of dangers for domestic house felines, their instincts endure. Elevated spots provide a feeling of safety and dominance, enabling the cat to oversee its domain and keep an eye on the happenings beneath. In homes with multiple domestic house felines or dogs, it's crucial for a cat to find elevated spots to avoid conflicts or just enjoy some peaceful solitude. Offering vertical, outer, astrocat missions like cat trees, shelves, or window perches can greatly enhance a cat's overall well-being. It enables them to showcase their innate behaviors and offers cognitive engagement. As a cat ascends to a lofty perch and makes itself comfortable, it isn't merely finding a cozy spot. It is asserting its dominance, establishing a vantage point from which to survey its kingdom with both security and authority. Recognizing the importance of vertical, outer astrocat mission is essential for fostering an environment where a cat can truly flourish. The brain structure of a cat shares a remarkable 90% similarity with that of a human. Though domestic house felines often appear enigmatic and otherworldly, their brains exhibit striking resemblances to ours. Interestingly, the structure of a cat's brain shares about 90% similarity with that of a human brain. Each possesses a cerebral cortex, segmented into lobes that handle sensory input, facilitate decision-making, and retain memories. Both gray matter and white matter are present, along with the neurotransmitters that facilitate communication between neurons. Nonetheless, significant distinctions exist. The brain of a cat is quite petite, tipping the scales at around 30 grams, while the human brain boasts a heftier weight of 1,400 grams. Even with the disparity in size, a cat's brain operates with remarkable efficiency, especially in functions tied to hunting, coordination, and the processing of sensory data. The brain's architecture facilitates intricate emotional experiences. Domestic house felines feel fear, joy, anger, and love, just like we do. They create memories, whether fleeting or lasting, and they have the ability to learn from their experiences. The striking resemblance between our brains and theirs is a key factor in the connection that exists between humans and domestic house felines. Our similarities run deep, and this common neurological basis fosters empathy and bonds between us. Domestic house felines possess a remarkable memory, particularly for elements that influence their survival. Though domestic house felines might forget the spot where their beloved toy lies, they possess astonishing memories for crucial feline tales about survival, territory, and their social connections. A feline possesses the ability to recall where food is hidden, identify secure places to take cover, and recognize the boundaries of competing domestic house felines. They recall the rhythms and habits of their home, often sensing when it's mealtime or when their human usually walks through the door. Domestic house felines possess a remarkable ability for associative memory. When an experience is enjoyable, like getting rewards for specific actions, it tends to stick in their memory, prompting them to repeat that behavior. On the flip side, if an encounter was unpleasant, like being startled by a sudden loud sound in a certain spot, they will recall that moment and steer clear of that area. Research indicates that domestic house felines possess the ability to recall events for many years, especially when those moments carry deep emotional weight. This explains why a cat might remain cautious about a vet's office long after a tense appointment, or how they can remember someone they haven't encountered in ages. The memory of domestic house felines transcends mere information storage. It is intricately tied to their survival instincts, helping them discern safety from danger and fostering the connections that define their social landscape. The vibrissae of every cat are arranged in a one-of-a-kind pattern, much like a fingerprint. Just like every human face is unique, each cat sports its own distinct arrangement of vibrissae. The configuration, size, and density of a cat's vibrissae are distinct to each individual feline. Though every cat sports vibrissae in familiar spots on their face, above their eyes, on their chin, and along their legs, the unique arrangement differs from one feline to another. This distinctiveness goes beyond surface-level appeal. The specific layout of vibrissae plays a crucial role in a cat's unique sensory journey, influencing its perception and engagement with its surroundings. Certain domestic house felines boast impressively long, sumptuous vibrissae, whereas others sport shorter, more dainty ones. Some vibrissae gracefully arc, while others jut out boldly. Noticing these subtle distinctions is essential to valuing the uniqueness of every cat, much like how you can identify a friend by their facial features or the tone of their voice. The arrangement of a cat's vibrissae contributes to its unique identity. This serves as yet another reminder that although domestic house felines exhibit similar traits and behaviors, each one is a distinct individual, influenced by its genetics, experiences, and its own special manner of navigating through life. Domestic house felines have the remarkable ability to swivel their ears independently, allowing them to accurately locate the origin of a sound. The ears of a cat are wonders of nature's design. Every ear possesses the ability to pivot independently, twisting as much as 180 degrees to seize sounds from almost any angle. The cat wields an impressive skill, governed by 32 muscles in each ear, allowing it to pinpoint the origin of the slightest sound with remarkable accuracy. Upon catching an intriguing sound, a cat will frequently pivot both ears in unison, honing in on the noise as if they were precision radar antennas. When faced with various sounds, the cat has the remarkable ability to direct one ear toward one source, while the other ear tunes into a different direction, allowing it to process information from both sources at the same time. This is essential for the pursuit. A feline on the hunt depends significantly on auditory cues to accurately locate a mouse scurrying beneath foliage or a bird flapping within a shrub. The cat's remarkable skill in pinpointing sound enables it to leap with exactness, even when its target is obscured from view. The flexibility of their ears allows domestic house felines to remain alert to their environment, even while engaged in various activities. A cat, while engrossed in grooming or munching, seems entirely absorbed in its activity. Yet, its ears are in perpetual motion, keenly attuned to the surroundings for any signs of danger or chance. The ears remain ever vigilant, constantly tuned in, absorbing the sounds of the world from all angles. A blissful cat might let a little drool escape when it's in a state of utter relaxation or joy, although drooling is typically more linked to dogs. Certain domestic house felines may also drool when they feel particularly joyful or at ease. This is not an indication of sickness, but instead a manifestation of profound happiness. Drooling frequently happens in those blissful moments of utter relaxation, like when a cat is being gently petted in that perfect spot, purring, sounding contentedly, and maybe even kneading with its feline paws. The delight is so intense that the cat's body reacts with a subtle overflow of drool. Not every cat exhibits this behavior, and for those that do, drooling may occur only under certain conditions. For felines that tend to drool when they're feeling blissful, it's an endearing trait, a clear indication that they are completely content. Certainly, an increase in drooling or a sudden appearance of it may signal dental concerns or other health-related issues. It's crucial to differentiate between the blissful drool of a content cat and the drooling that could indicate an issue. Yet, when a feline curls up in your lap, its eyes barely open, softly kneading away, and a tiny droplet of drool surfaces, you can be sure that this cat is reveling in a moment of deep contentment. It represents a weakness, an emblem of faith, and a reflection of the connection you share. The gentle, slow blink of a cat is frequently seen as a gesture of trust and love. In the feline dialect, the act of locking eyes can be quite intricate, unwavering. Extended gazes may be interpreted as a provocation or danger. Yet, there exists a particular form of eye contact that conveys an entirely distinct message: the slow blink. When a cat gazes at you and gently blinks its eyes, resembling a slow, relaxed wink, it is conveying a sense of comfort, trust, and love. Some folks refer to this as a feline smooch. A slow blink from a cat is their way of saying they feel secure around you, indicating that you are not seen as a danger. To engage with a cat's languid blink, mirror the gesture by gently closing and opening your eyes in a slow, deliberate manner, while maintaining eye contact with the feline. A multitude of domestic house felines will mirror the action, forging a quiet bond of trust. This approach offers a soft, unobtrusive method to connect with a cat, particularly one that is timid or not well known. In contrast to the physical touch of petting or lifting a cat, which can feel intrusive, a gentle, slow blink honors the cat's personal outer astrocat mission, while conveying affection and kindness. It represents a more nuanced way of interaction between people and felines. Yet it proves to be incredibly impactful. A fleeting moment, a gentle blink conveys, "I recognize you, I have faith in you, and I find tranquility in your presence here." Domestic house felines often engage in a chattering display at birds outside a window, a fascinating behavior tied to their innate hunting instincts. Have you ever seen a cat fixated on the world beyond a window, eyes locked on birds or squirrels? If so, you might have caught a peculiar sound, a quick staccato chattering or chittering, paired with twitching vibrissae and a quivering jaw. This phenomenon is often referred to as chattering, and it holds an intriguing and somewhat enigmatic quality. The precise cause of chattering remains a topic of discussion among animal behaviorists, yet numerous theories abound. One idea is that the chattering imitates the lethal bite a cat would inflict on its prey, a practice of the action, despite the prey being beyond reach. One more idea suggests that the sound conveys a sense of frustration. The feline spots the feathered creature. Its primal instincts are in full swing, yet the target remains just out of reach. The chatter flows freely, a vibrant outpouring of bottled-up energy and exhilaration. There are researchers who have suggested that the sound could be an effort to imitate bird calls. Although this idea is not as widely embraced, it is evident that chattering is associated with the instinct to pursue prey. This happens when a cat is fixated on prey that remains out of reach. This is a typical scenario for indoor domestic house felines. Their realm brims with vibrant sights, beings darting just beyond the pain, enticingly near, yet eternally unattainable. The murmurs offer a peek into the hunter's psyche, a testament that even within the coziest sanctuary, the urge to pursue and capture lingers on. Domestic house felines possess unique likes and dislikes when it comes to being petted in specific spots. Much like people, domestic house felines possess their own personal boundaries and preferences when it comes to physical contact. Every cat possesses its own unique comfort zones and sensitive spots. Many felines take pleasure in gentle strokes on their heads, cheeks, and chins, regions rich with scent glands that enhance their social connections. A lot of domestic house felines enjoy soft caresses along their backs and shoulders. Yet, the belly, feline paws, and feline tail tend to be more sensitive areas and might be off-limits for numerous domestic house felines. A cat that flips onto its back and reveals its belly is expressing trust, yet this doesn't necessarily indicate a desire for belly rubs. For certain felines, a gentle touch on the belly can ignite a defensive reaction, leading to potential bites or scratches. In a similar vein, numerous domestic house felines are not fond of having their feline paws or feline tails touched. These regions are sensitive, and interacting with them may cause the cat to feel uneasy. Understanding a specific cat's likes and dislikes demands time and careful watching. Observe the feline's physical cues closely. When the ears lay back, the feline tail begins to flick, or the cat retreats. It is indicating unease. Honoring these limits is crucial for fostering trust. A cat that senses understanding and respect is more inclined to show affection and be at ease. Pressuring a cat into contact or overlooking its cues can harm the bond and may result in fear or hostility. Certain domestic house felines have a knack for conversation, especially breeds such as the Siamese, known for their lively chatter. Though every cat has the ability to make sounds, certain ones are much more chatty than their counterparts. The breed of a cat greatly influences its vocal tendencies. Siamese domestic house felines, for instance, are well known for their boisterous, frequent, and often demanding meows. They have a reputation for engaging in conversations with their owners, sharing thoughts on everything from dinner schedules to perceived wrongs. Breeds from the East, like the Balinese and Tonkinese, are known for their expressive voices. Conversely, certain breeds, such as the British Shorthair and the Russian Blue, tend to be more subdued and introspective. Yet, the uniqueness of each personality holds equal significance to that of the breed. Certain domestic house felines possess a delightful knack for conversation, often meowing back to their humans, responding to inquiries, and making their presence known with charming vocalizations all day long. Some remain quiet, expressing themselves mainly through gestures and only speaking when absolutely essential. For those who appreciate a chatty friend, a loquacious cat can be a joy, providing endless opportunities for engagement and conversation. If you enjoy a more serene home environment, a cat that is less chatty might be the ideal companion for you. Grasping and valuing a cat's unique way of expressing itself, be it through vocalizations or quietude, is essential to embracing the distinct character of the creature. A cat's ability to taste is not as refined as its keen sense of smell. Humans boast approximately 9,000 taste buds, whereas domestic house felines possess a mere 470. Domestic house felines perceive food in a way that's quite distinct from our own due to their restricted sense of taste. They place greater emphasis on scent and feel when determining if something is enticing to eat. A feline with a congested nose due to a cold might turn down food, not due to unappetizing flavors, but rather because it struggles to catch a whiff of it effectively. Curiously, domestic house felines are unable to savor sweetness. They lack the taste receptors for sweetness, a characteristic that is rather uncommon among mammals. This is probably due to the fact that domestic house felines, being obligate carnivores, have minimal interest in recognizing sweet foods such as fruits. In their natural habitat, they primarily feast on meat, and their palate has adapted to this preference over time. Domestic house felines have the ability to savor salty, sour, and bitter tastes, with a heightened sensitivity to bitterness that aids them in steering clear of harmful substances. When selecting food for a cat, it's crucial to keep in mind that what delights human palates might not entice a feline's senses. Robust scents, suitable consistency, and premium protein take precedence over elaborate tastes. A feline assesses its meal using instincts finely tuned for a hunter's fare, prioritizing aroma and the savory depth of meat over any hint of sweetness or spice. Domestic house felines are unable to savor sweetness due to the absence of taste receptors. Domestic house felines' lack of a sweet taste is an intriguing evolutionary trait that aligns seamlessly with their nutritional requirements. Domestic house felines are true carnivores, crafted by nature to thrive on a diet that consists almost exclusively of animal flesh. In nature, felines do not come across sweet treats. They refrain from consuming fruits, honey, or any other sweet sources. Throughout the ages, the gene that creates the sweetness taste receptor gradually lost its function in the lineage of felines. In the absence of evolutionary pressure to preserve this receptor, it simply vanished. Interestingly, every feline, whether it's a domestic kitty or a majestic lion, is unable to savor sweet tastes. This carries real-world significance. Unlike a dog that might plead for a taste of cake or candy, a cat remains indifferent, not out of self-control, but simply because it cannot sense the sweetness at all. It's important to avoid giving domestic house felines sugary treats, as their digestive systems aren't designed to process high amounts of carbohydrates. This reinterpretation serves as a poignant reminder of the intricate connection between a species' sensory perceptions and its ecological role. Every facet of a cat's biology showcases its identity as a predator of flesh, from its sharp teeth to its intricate digestive system, and even the unique design of its taste buds. A queen cat imparts essential life lessons to her playful baby cats, using both fun and practical demonstrations. In the untamed world, a queen cat embodies the roles of nurturer and mentor. As soon as her baby cats reach the age of 4 weeks and are ready for solid food, she starts introducing them to their first prey. Initially, the prey might be lifeless, providing the baby cats with a safe opportunity to roam and hone their biting and pawing skills without any risk. As the little felines gain their confidence, the mother might introduce live prey, setting it free nearby for the baby cats to hone their skills in stalking, pouncing, and capturing their target. This is not an act of cruelty. It is a lesson in understanding. In the untamed world, young felines must master the art of hunting to thrive. The queen cat showcases the technique, while the baby cats absorb the knowledge through mimicry and hands-on experience. Engaging with baby cats not only brings joy but also offers valuable lessons. As baby cats tumble, leap, and partake in playful skirmishes, they are honing their coordination, mastering bite control, and grasping the nuances of social limits. Even when hunting isn't needed, domestic house felines hold on to their instinct to teach. A queen cat, accompanied by her playful baby cats, will often partake in games that resemble the thrill of the hunt. Even those felines who are separated from their mothers early on tend to engage in playful stalking with their toys, driven by instincts that encourage them to hone skills they might never actually require. The passing down of wisdom from one generation to another is an essential aspect of feline existence. As soon as they hit the 3-week mark, baby cats start honing their hunting instincts. Baby cats undergo a fascinating metamorphosis, from vulnerable infants to agile hunters in a surprisingly short span of time. At approximately 3 weeks old, baby cats start to exhibit their initial hunting instincts. With their eyes wide open, they can now hear the world around them, and they are beginning to take steps with growing assurance. At this moment, you may observe a kitten stealthily pursuing a sibling's feline tail, leaping onto a stray piece of fluff, or swatting at a darting object. The initial playful antics lay the groundwork for honing hunting abilities. As the weeks pass, the kitten's coordination blossoms, and its movements take on a newfound intention. At around 6 to 8 weeks, baby cats dive into intense training, honing their skills in stalking, pouncing, grabbing, and biting. While house baby cats might never have to hunt for their meals, these instincts are ingrained in them. They will rise and flourish, regardless of whether the kitten finds itself in the wilderness or nestled in a cozy living room. Equipping young baby cats with suitable toys and playtime is more than mere amusement. It nurtures their growth, enabling them to hone vital skills that contribute to their overall well-being and their identity as felines. A kitten that misses out on playtime may develop into an adult with behavioral problems, struggling with the unfulfilled instincts that yearn for release. Domestic house felines possess a unique collarbone that enables them to slip through narrow openings with ease. Domestic house felines possess an incredible knack for squeezing through openings that appear utterly minuscule. A cat can squeeze through a gap just slightly larger than its head, twisting its body in ways that seem almost otherworldly. The extraordinary adaptability can be attributed in part to the design of the cat's collarbone. In contrast to humans, where the collarbones are firmly attached to the skeleton, a cat's collarbone is petite and floats freely, nestled within the shoulder muscles, instead of creating a solid connection. This enables the shoulders to shift independently and compress, resulting in a more streamlined body for the cat. With a remarkably adaptable spine and the skill to twist its hips and shoulders, a cat can slip through openings that would ensnare many other creatures of comparable size. This transformation proves to be exceptionally beneficial for both pursuing prey and evading threats. A feral feline can chase its quarry into tight nooks or tunnels, and it can evade threats by slipping into openings too cramped for bigger beasts to pursue. For domestic house felines, this knack occasionally results in amusing escapades, with felines finding themselves trapped in spots they really shouldn't have explored. Yet, it frequently serves as a tribute to the grace and versatility of cat physiology. The heartbeat of a cat races nearly double that of a human's. The inner workings of a cat's rhythms diverge significantly from those of humans. The resting heart rate of a healthy adult typically ranges from 60 to 100 beats per minute. In stark contrast, a cat's heart races at a much quicker pace, usually clocking in between 140 and 220 beats per minute. The quickened heartbeat is typical, showcasing the cat's petite physique and elevated metabolic activity. Typically, smaller creatures boast quicker heartbeats compared to their larger counterparts. The reason behind this is their tendency to lose heat more rapidly, attributed to a greater surface area in comparison to their body mass, while a quicker metabolism aids in sustaining their body temperature. The quickened heartbeat fuels the cat's sudden flurries of energetic play. As a cat pursues its target or frolics in play, its heart races, pumping oxygen and energy to its muscles at an astonishing pace. When you cradle a cat in your arms and feel the quick thrum of its heartbeat, you're experiencing a swift cadence, a gentle nudge that the life within that tiny, cozy form beats to a different drum than yours. Domestic house felines embody a fascinating blend of similarities and differences with us, coexisting in our world while perceiving it through their unique biological perspective. Domestic house felines are masters of energy conservation, spending the majority of their day in slumber, only to spring into action for brief, lively episodes. Domestic house felines' extensive sleep habits are intricately tied to their hunting techniques. In contrast to persistent hunters that pursue their prey across vast distances, domestic house felines excel as ambush predators. They depend on cunning, perseverance, and sudden flashes of velocity and strength. This method of hunting demands bursts of intense energy, punctuated by long intervals of rest to recuperate and save resources. In the untamed world, a cat could easily spend countless hours in stealth, keenly observing its surroundings for any sign of prey, before suddenly bursting into a swift dash that lasts mere seconds. Regardless of the outcome of the hunt, the energy invested is considerable. The cat's slumber serves as a vital reset, preparing it for the next chance that comes its way. Domestic house felines, regardless of their hunting experience, still hold on to this natural rhythm. Their physiques are crafted for short bursts of vigorous action, succeeded by extended intervals of relaxation. This explains why a house cat may abruptly dash through the apartment at lightning speed, only to flop down into a profound slumber shortly after. It's not mere chance, it's the reverberation of a pursuit cycle. Grasping this concept enables cat owners to offer suitable avenues for their feline's energy. Engaging in play sessions that replicate the thrill of the hunt, featuring quick, energetic bursts, followed by moments of tranquility, resonates with the cat's innate instincts and fosters a more vibrant, joyful life. Domestic house felines are true carnivores, relying on meat as an essential part of their diet for survival. In contrast to omnivores, who can obtain nourishment from a variety of sources, including plants and animals, domestic house felines are strictly carnivorous creatures. Their bodies are crafted to digest and absorb nutrients from animal tissue, making it impossible for them to flourish on a plant-based diet. This isn't just a choice, it's a fundamental necessity of biology. Domestic house felines require specific nutrients that can only be sourced from animal tissue, including taurine, an amino acid vital for maintaining heart and eye health. A cat lacking sufficient taurine will face significant health issues. Domestic house felines need preformed vitamin A, as they lack the ability to convert plant-based beta-carotene into this essential nutrient, like many other animals do. Domestic house felines also require arachidonic acid, a type of fatty acid present in animal fat. Unlike certain animals that can synthesize this within their bodies, domestic house felines are unable to do so and must acquire it through their food. Their digestive systems are finely tuned for processing meat. Their digestive system is compact, adept at handling protein and fat, yet not particularly effective at decomposing plant material. Their teeth are a testament to this diet. Domestic house felines possess sharp, pointed teeth that are perfectly crafted for tearing into meat, lacking the flat molars necessary for grinding plant matter. It's crucial for cat caregivers to recognize that these furry companions are obligate carnivores. This involves offering a diet abundant in premium animal protein, while catering to domestic house felines' nutritional requirements, in harmony with their evolutionary history, spanning millions of years. The spine of a cat boasts remarkable flexibility, featuring a greater number of vertebrae compared to that of a human. The elegance and flexibility of domestic house felines can be attributed to the unique design of their spine. The human spine is made up of 33 vertebrae, which includes the fused segments found in the feline tailbone. In comparison, a cat's spine is made up of approximately 53 vertebrae, varying with the feline tail's length. The vertebrae here are more diminutive and loosely linked compared to those in humans, featuring elastic cushioning discs that enable a wider range of motion. This adaptability allows a cat to bend, curve, and shape its form in manners that appear almost fluid. Observe a cat as it meticulously grooms itself, stretching to lick the base of its feline tail, or witness the incredible agility as it twists its spine mid-air during a fall. This is spinal flexibility at its finest. The spine's flexibility plays a vital role in a cat's remarkable capacity to stretch and contract its body. A cat in motion extends its body, spine stretching to maximize its stride, then contracts, coiling up energy for the upcoming leap. This imparts to domestic house felines their distinctive, graceful, and leaping stride. The spine serves as the essence of a cat's physical being, the bedrock of its agility, elegance, and predatory skills. A stunning feat of biological design, it has developed into one of nature's most effective and exquisite hunters. Domestic house felines possess a distinctive way of walking, known as direct registering, where their hind paw lands nearly precisely in the same spot as their front paw. Have you ever observed a cat strut its stuff, particularly in slow motion or through muddy terrain, leaving behind clear paw prints? If so, you might have spotted something quite intriguing. The cat's hind paw touches down nearly precisely where its front paw has just departed. This process is known as direct registering, and it fulfills multiple functions. To begin with, it silences the cat's movements. When the cat positions its back paw in a place previously explored by the front paw, it minimizes the risk of stepping on anything that could crack or rustle, thereby keeping its presence hidden from potential prey. Additionally, it enhances balance and coordination, especially when navigating narrow surfaces such as fences or branches. The leading paw explores the terrain, while the trailing paw treads the familiar route. This manner of walking is nearly exclusive to felines among all quadrupeds. While some other species may use it from time to time, it is a common practice among domestic house felines. Observe a cat as it strides with intention, and you'll notice the careful, measured positioning of every single paw, a seemingly minor de-feline tail. Yet it unveils the profound evolutionary sophistication of the feline form. The way a cat glides through its environment, with a spine that bends like a whisper, and feline paws that touch the ground with the lightest of caresses, is a masterpiece sculpted by nature over countless ages, embodying stealth, efficiency, and elegance. Domestic house felines possess a striking 95% of their genetic composition in common with tigers. At first glance, it may appear that the tiny, purring-sounding bundle of fur lounging on your couch shares little with a majestic tiger roaming the wild. Yet, astonishingly, their genetic makeup reveals a striking resemblance. Domestic house felines and tigers have a striking similarity, sharing about 95% of their DNA. This intimate bond serves as a reminder that every cat, whether it's a tiny domestic feline or a majestic tiger, is part of the same family, Felidae, tracing back to a shared ancestor. The characteristics that enable a house cat to thrive, its sharp, retractable claws, acute senses, flexible spine, and carnivorous diet, are identical to those that render a tiger one of the most powerful hunters on the planet. While domestic house felines and their larger counterparts, such as tigers, differ in size, social dynamics, and unique adaptations to their habitats, they share a common foundational design. Observe a house cat as it stealthily pursues a toy, and you'll witness the same intense focus and skill that a tiger employs when hunting deer. Watch a cat as it meticulously grooms itself or elegantly stretches, and you'll see behaviors reminiscent of its majestic cousin, the tiger. This shared genetic bond is truly awe-inspiring. It implies that the tender, loving creature residing in our households is, in a profound way, a small tiger, embodying the heritage of its fierce, majestic forebears. Felines are famous for embarking on journeys spanning hundreds of miles just to find their way back home. Numerous tales exist of domestic house felines that, after being lost or moved, embark on astonishing journeys to find their way back home. These adventures can stretch for hundreds of miles, lasting weeks or even months, traversing unknown lands, crossing rivers, navigating cities, and scaling mountains. While the precise way domestic house felines traverse these vast distances remains a mystery, it is thought that they rely on a blend of their senses. Domestic house felines often depend on their remarkable sense of smell, tracing scent trails that remain unseen and unfathomable to us humans. They might also rely on the sun's position, recognizable landmarks, and even the Earth's magnetic field to find their way. Certain researchers speculate that domestic house felines may have an extraordinary ability akin to sight trailing or a sixth sense, though this idea is still up for debate. Domestic house felines undeniably form a deep bond with their territory, and in certain instances, with their human companions. This connection compels them to embark on these challenging quests. Not every cat finds its way to triumph. The path is fraught with peril, and countless souls may never return. Yet the survival of a few, defying all expectations, highlights the unwavering spirit, tenacity, and skillful navigation of these extraordinary creatures. These tales illustrate that although domestic house felines often appear distant or self-sufficient, they possess the ability to form deep bonds and show remarkable loyalty. For a cat, home transcends mere location. It's an emotion, a connection, capable of drawing them together from what appears to be insurmountable gaps. The auditory prowess of a cat ranks among the sharpest in the mammalian world. Domestic house felines possess the remarkable ability to detect sounds at frequencies far beyond what humans and even dogs can perceive, with the upper threshold of human hearing resting at approximately 20 kHz. Domestic house felines possess the remarkable ability to hear sounds reaching frequencies of 64 kHz or even beyond. This enables them to detect the ultrasonic sounds made by rodents, which frequently communicate at frequencies beyond what humans can perceive. To a cat, the universe resonates with sounds beyond our wildest dreams. The faint squeak of a mouse resonates with layers of meaning, enabling the cat to pinpoint its precise location, gauge the distance, and even sense the emotional state of the little creature producing the sound. This sharp sense of hearing is crucial for the pursuit of prey. Domestic house felines frequently prowl in dim light or shadows, where their sight is restricted. Their keen ability to detect the slightest whisper of leaves or the sharp cry of prey provides them with a remarkable edge. The cat's sizable, agile ears are expertly crafted to seize these sounds and direct them into the ear canal. Even when a cat seems to be lounging or indifferent, its ears are always in action, rotating to catch sounds, distinguishing the significant from the trivial. Within the walls of your home, your cat is tuned into far more than you could ever imagine. It perceives the buzz of devices, the tread of neighbors beyond the barriers, the whisper of a plastic bag stirring in a distant, outer astrocat mission. To a cat, the world unfolds like a grand symphony of sound. Domestic house felines have a penchant for fresh flowing water, which could explain their fascination with drinking from faucets. Numerous cat enthusiasts have observed that their feline companions are captivated by the sight and sound of flowing water. A feline might perch beside a leaky tap, swat at the flowing water, or eagerly sip from it, all the while overlooking a bowl brimming with calm water just a short distance away. This inclination stems from a primal urge. In nature, flowing water is typically a safer choice for drinking compared to still water. Stagnant water can conceal bacteria, parasites, and various pollutants, whereas the flowing water from a stream or spring tends to be fresher and cleaner. Throughout the ages, domestic house felines have cultivated a liking for flowing water as a means of survival. Household felines still hold on to this natural instinct, despite the fact that their water bowls are consistently maintained and present no danger. The sight and sound of flowing water evoke an innate reaction, a deep-seated understanding that this water is pure, secure, and revitalizing. Many cat enthusiasts choose to invest in specialized water fountains for their furry companions. These gadgets deliver a steady stream of water, catering to the feline's instinctual likes and motivating them to hydrate more. Ensuring that a cat stays well hydrated is crucial for its overall health, especially for maintaining proper kidney function. Therefore, any method that promotes increased water intake in domestic house felines is advantageous. The next time you spot a cat fixated on a dripping faucet, know that it's more than mere curiosity at play. It's an innate drive, a recollection of our untamed forebears who had to select their water sources with great caution to endure. Certain domestic house felines sport additional toes, a quirky trait known as polydactyly. Typically, domestic house felines possess a total of 18 toes, 5 on each of their front feline paws and 4 on each of their back feline paws. Yet, there are certain domestic house felines that come into the world with additional toes, a fascinating genetic trait referred to as polydactyly. Polydactyl, domestic house felines may sport a range of extra toes, often found on their front feline paws, varying from 1 to several. The condition is benign, causing neither discomfort nor hindrance to movement. Indeed, there are those who think that polydactyl domestic house felines possess superior balance and climbing skills thanks to their more substantial feline paws. This characteristic is especially prevalent in specific areas and among particular groups of felines. Once upon a time, sailors held polydactyl domestic house felines in high regard, convinced that their extra toes bestowed upon them superior balance amidst the swaying of ships. Ernest Hemingway had a well-known affection for polydactyl domestic house felines, and a group of these unique felines continues to thrive at his old residence in Key West, Florida, cherished and honored as a piece of his enduring legacy. The additional toes can create a mitten-like look for a cat's paw, and certain polydactyl domestic house felines boast remarkably large feline paws. The trait arises from a dominant gene, indicating that if one parent possesses polydactyly, the likelihood of the baby cats inheriting this characteristic is quite high. Polydactyl domestic house felines serve as a testament to the rich genetic tapestry found among domestic house felines, showcasing the delightful, harmless variations that contribute to each cat's individuality. The typical lifespan of a cat ranges from 12 to 15 years, although numerous felines exceed this expectation. A cat's lifespan is influenced by various elements, such as its genetics, diet, living conditions, and availability of veterinary services. Typically, domestic house felines enjoy a lifespan of around 12 to 15 years. Yet, with proper care, numerous felines thrive into their late teens, and a few even celebrate their 22nds. The longest-lived cat on record reached the remarkable age of 38, although such extraordinary lifespan is quite uncommon. Indoor domestic house felines typically enjoy a longer lifespan compared to their outdoor counterparts, as they are shielded from the perils of traffic, predators, illness, and severe weather conditions. Feline adventurers encounter a variety of dangers that can drastically reduce their lifespan. The role of diet is undeniably significant. Felines that are nourished with premium, well-balanced meals often enjoy better health and increased longevity. Consistent veterinary attention, such as vaccinations, dental maintenance, and proactive health screenings, can significantly extend a cat's lifespan. With the passage of time, domestic house felines may become less active, enjoy longer naps, and face health challenges like arthritis or kidney disease. However, numerous senior domestic house felines continue to be lively, loving, and curious about their environment well into their golden years. Nurturing an elderly feline is a blessing, an opportunity to repay a friend who has offered countless moments of warmth and love. This serves as a gentle nudge to treasure every moment with these beings, whose lives, while briefer than ours, hold just as much significance. As they grow older, senior domestic house felines frequently show an increase in their affectionate nature. As domestic house felines age, they often become more loving and tend to gravitate towards the warmth of human companionship. As baby cats and young domestic house felines burst with energy and a sense of independence, senior domestic house felines tend to embrace a more tranquil demeanor, seeking out the warmth of companionship. This change can be linked to a variety of influences. As felines grow older, they might experience a heightened sense of vulnerability, prompting them to seek the comfort and warmth that comes from being close to their human companions. They might also feel some unease due to age-related issues, such as arthritis, and being physically close can provide comfort. Moreover, senior domestic house felines often find comfort in the familiarity and security of their surroundings, along with the companionship of their beloved human. An elderly feline, once distant and independent, might start to shadow your every move, snuggle into your lap with increasing frequency, or choose to rest beside you as night falls. This blossoming affection is a treasure, a profound strengthening of the connection that has taken years to cultivate. Domestic house felines, too, embody the potential for transformation and evolution. Their personalities are fluid, constantly changing as they navigate through experiences, health challenges, and the connections they build with others. Nurturing a senior cat and attending to their heightened desire for companionship and solace is among the most heartwarming elements of coexisting with these beloved creatures. Domestic house felines thrive in the dim light of dawn and dusk, showcasing their crepuscular nature as they come alive during these magical crepuscular hunting zones. A cat's daily rhythm dances in harmony with the sun's journey across the sky. Domestic house felines thrive in the crepuscular hunting zones, showcasing their energy during the enchanting moments of dawn and dusk. This behavior is a legacy from their wild ancestors, who deemed these moments perfect for the hunt. During the enchanting crepuscular hunting zones, prey animals, especially rodents, come alive, transforming this time into the prime hunting opportunity for a cat. The soft glow allows a cat's remarkable night vision to thrive, granting it both the stealth to stalk its prey and the protection from lurking dangers. Within the cozy confines of home, this twilight cadence frequently reveals itself through lively bursts of energy during the dawn and dusk hours. A feline might rouse you at the break of day with spirited antics, or insist on your affection as twilight descends. Grasping this inherent flow allows cat owners to align with their feline companions' instincts instead of opposing them. Planning engaging play sessions during these high-energy moments can fulfill the cat's instinct to hunt and expend energy, resulting in a calmer night. A cat that dozes away the day and comes alive at night isn't being troublesome. It's just being a cat. It's just adhering to the natural rhythm that has steered domestic house felines for eons. Domestic house felines are capable of sprinting at speeds reaching 30 miles per hour for brief distances. When a cat takes off, it moves with incredible speed. A house cat can sprint at speeds of approximately 30 miles per hour, but only over brief stretches. The remarkable speed stems from robust hind leg muscles, a spine that flexes like a spring, and a slender physique. In the untamed realm, this swiftness is crucial for seizing prey or evading peril. The dash of a cat is a burst of energy, swift and fleeting, crafted for that last push to catch its target or to make a hasty retreat from danger. Following these energetic sprints, the cat will require some time to relax and rejuvenate. This is the reason you might witness a cat darting through the house at breakneck speed, only to come to a halt, breathless, moments later. When stacked against certain creatures, a speed of 30 miles per hour might not appear particularly remarkable. A cheetah can sprint at an astonishing 70 miles per hour. Yet for a tiny creature tipping the scales at 10 pounds or less, that feat is truly extraordinary. Their swift movements, paired with remarkable agility and the knack for immediate directional shifts, render domestic house felines exceptionally skilled predators. Observing a cat sprint at full throttle reveals the untamed agility lurking beneath its serene, frequently lethargic facade. A fleeting insight into the hunter lurking inside, a being designed for pursuit, endowed with remarkable surges of strength and elegance. The design on a cat's nose is one of a kind, much like a human fingerprint. Much like each person possesses a distinct fingerprint, every cat boasts its own one-of-a-kind nose print. The unique arrangement of ridges and bumps on a cat's nose is specific to each individual feline. Each cat possesses a unique nose print, offering a fascinating possibility for identification, even if it's seldom utilized in reality. A cat's noseprint stands as a tiny yet significant testament to the uniqueness found in the natural world. Though felines of the same breed might share a similar appearance, boasting identical coat colors and patterns, every single one possesses its own distinct genetic and physical traits. This encompasses aspects such as personality, behavior, preferences, and even the tiniest defeline tails, like the unique nose print. Gazing closely at your cat's nose reveals a unique landscape, a one-of-a-kind biological imprint that sets that feline apart from all others in existence. The uniqueness of each being is what truly enriches the connection shared between a person and a feline. You aren't merely tending to a typical representative of a species. You're intertwining your existence with a one-of-a-kind soul, unmatched and extraordinary, complete with its own peculiarities, routines, and the delicate, individual design on its nose. domestic house felines possess a unique layer in their eyes that enhances their ability to see in low-light conditions. The tapetum lucidum stands out as a fascinating adaptation found in the eyes of domestic house felines. Behind the retina lies a layer of reflective cells that functions like a mirror, bouncing light back through the photoreceptor cells. This provides the retina with an opportunity to seize the light once more, significantly boosting the light that is present and enabling domestic house felines to perceive their surroundings in situations that would render humans nearly sightless. The reason a cat's eyes shimmer in the darkness when light hits them is due to the tapetum lucidum. The illumination dances upon this surface, ricocheting back from the eye. The hue of the luminescence can shift green, gold, blue, based on the minerals found in the tapetum and the direction of the light. This trait is common among various nocturnal and crepuscular creatures, yet it is especially pronounced in domestic house felines. The abundance of rod cells in the retina, paired with the tapetum lucidum, transforms domestic house felines into exceptional hunters, especially in dim lighting conditions. They can explore, pursue, and frolic in environments where we would be floundering and at a loss. Domestic house felines possess a myriad of adaptations that enable them to flourish in the enchanting realm of twilight, where the boundaries of day and night blur, and they truly feel at ease. Domestic house felines rely on their vibrissae to gauge outer astrocat missions and find their way through the shadows. Vibrissae serve a purpose beyond mere decoration. These incredibly sensitive touch organs equip a cat with essential insights about its surroundings. Vibrissae, known scientifically as vibrissae, are intricately rooted in a cat's skin, enveloped by a network of nerve endings and blood vessels. Every whisker links to the nervous system, capable of sensing the faintest touch or shift in air pressure. Vibrissae serve as remarkable tools for guiding the way, particularly in low-light conditions. As a feline glides through its surroundings, its sensitive vibrissae sense the presence of nearby objects without needing to touch them, enabling the cat to sidestep obstacles and maneuver through tight, outer astrocat missions with grace. The vibrissae adorning a cat's face usually span the same width as its body, enabling the feline to assess if it can squeeze through a tight, outer astrocat mission. When the vibrissae brush against the edges of an outer astrocat mission, the cat realizes its body won't squeeze through. Domestic house felines possess vibrissae that arch gracefully above their eyes, initiating a swift protective blink when an object encroaches too closely. Additionally, they sport vibrissae on the backs of their front legs, aiding in the delicate task of sensing the position of their captured prey. A cat lacking vibrissae would find it challenging to navigate with assurance, particularly in dim lighting. These extraordinary strands serve as vital instruments for perceiving and engaging with our surroundings. A feline might present you with offerings of its catch, showcasing its fondness or perhaps trying to impart a lesson. One of the more puzzling actions that cat owners face is the presentation of a lifeless mouse, bird, or insect, casually placed on the doorstep, or even more shockingly, on the bed. Though this may feel disconcerting, grasping the situation through the cat's eyes is crucial. Numerous theories exist regarding the reasons behind domestic house felines presenting their catches to their human companions. One possibility is that the cat is offering its catch, similar to how domestic house felines in a colony exchange food among themselves. When a cat brings prey to you, it's a gesture that signifies you are considered a member of its family. One intriguing idea is that the cat is trying to impart its hunting skills to you. Mother domestic house felines deliver prey to their baby cats as a way of teaching them Given that many domestic house felines perceive their humans as somewhat clumsy family members, they might be attempting to assist by offering a lesson in hunting. Another option is that the cat carries its trophy to a familiar spot, its own territory, where it feels safe enough to enjoy or engage with its catch. This behavior, regardless of its cause, is deeply embedded in our instincts and the connections we forge with one another. Though it may be uncomfortable to confront, it truly serves as a form of flattery. The cat is inviting you into its realm, offering a glimpse of something it holds dear. Reacting with frustration or revulsion can bewilder and distress the feline. A soft nudge in another direction and a discreet handling of the offering, paired with gratitude for the cat's gesture, is the most compassionate reaction. A lot of domestic house felines aren't fans of belly rubs, even when they show off their tummies. A prevalent misconception that often arises between felines and their human companions pertains to the belly. A cat flips onto its back, revealing its plush, furry belly, and the human sees this as a cue to give it some affection. As the human extends their hand, the cat swiftly seizes it with all 4 feline paws and sinks its teeth in. What happened here? When domestic house felines communicate, showing their belly indicates a sense of trust and relaxation. It doesn't always mean they want to be touched. The belly is among the most delicate areas of a cat's physique, and instinctively, most domestic house felines guard it fiercely. When a cat exposes its belly, it's a sign that it trusts you completely. I have faith that you won't cause me any harm. It's not expressing, kindly caress my belly. For certain felines, the mere act of reaching for their belly sparks an instinctive reaction of defense. The cat, sensing its vulnerability, instinctively responds by grabbing and biting, not from aggression but from a deep-seated survival instinct. Yet, there are domestic house felines that relish belly rubs, and the only way to discover if your feline falls into this category is by keenly observing their behavior and testing the waters slowly. When a cat shows off its belly, start by giving a gentle rub on its head or back before venturing down south. Should the cat stay calm and even present its belly to you, it could be receptive to a soft belly rub. However, if the cat's ears go flat or its feline tail starts to twitch, it's wise to honor the boundary and appreciate the belly from afar. Domestic house felines possess an extraordinary sense of balance, a gift bestowed upon them by their unique inner ear structure. A cat's elegance and nimbleness are backed by an exceptionally refined sense of balance. The vestibular system, nestled within the inner ear, is where this sense finds its core. The vestibular system senses the head's position and movement, aiding the cat in keeping its balance. In felines, this mechanism is exceptionally sophisticated, delivering swift and precise insights regarding the body's position in the environment. This is what enables a cat to stride along a slender fence with assurance, to spring from one surface to another with accuracy, and to touch down on its feline paws after a tumble. The vestibular system collaborates seamlessly with the cat's agile spine, robust muscles, and low center of gravity, crafting a creature that is remarkably sure-footed. As a cat tumbles through the air, its vestibular system swiftly detects the direction of up, prompting the feline to twist and turn, ensuring its feline paws are positioned to land gracefully on the ground. The righting reflex is an innate ability that starts to form in baby cats when they are merely a few weeks old. A cat's sense of balance is such a core part of its being that any problems with the inner ear can lead to significant confusion and discomfort, hindering its ability to walk, jump, and move around with ease. In a healthy cat, the sense of balance serves as a silent, unwavering ally, steering each movement with seamless accuracy. The pupils of a cat can shift from slender slits to broad circles, influenced by both light and their feelings. The eyes of a cat are among its most captivating traits, especially the pupils. Under the brilliance of bright light, a cat's pupils transform into slender vertical slits, safeguarding the delicate retina from an overload of illumination. In the soft glow of twilight, the pupils stretch wide, transforming into vast, round orbs, eager to welcome every bit of light that dances into the eye. The striking variation in pupil size is crucial for a cat's survival in different lighting environments. Pupil size goes beyond just responding to light. It serves as a glimpse into the cat's emotional world. When a cat experiences excitement, be it from play, fear, or aggression, its pupils can expand dramatically, even in the presence of bright light. This expansion is a crucial element of the adrenaline reaction, gearing the cat up for action by enhancing its visual awareness to the fullest. On the flip side, a cat that feels at ease and happy might display narrower pupils, even when the lighting is somewhat dim. Understanding a cat's pupils, along with various body language cues, can reveal the emotions and thoughts of our feline friends. Large, expanded pupils may indicate thrill or trepidation. Slender pupils may indicate tranquility, but when paired with other cues, such as pressed ears and a whipping feline tail, they can signal hostility. The eyes serve as a portal to the essence of a cat, transforming and evolving with each feeling and change in their surroundings. For almost a decade of millennia, domestic house felines have found their place alongside humans. The bond between felines and humans is timeless, dating back around 10,000 years to the beginnings of farming. With the dawn of agriculture, as people established their homes and nurtured their fields, the storage of grain became a beacon for rodents. Feral felines, lured by the plentiful food sources, started to visit these primitive communities. As time passed, people came to appreciate the role of domestic house felines in managing the rodent population, while the domestic house felines enjoyed the plentiful hunting opportunities and, in turn, the food scraps and cozy shelter provided by their human companions. This was not the conventional approach to domestication, where humans selectively breed animals to cultivate specific traits. Rather, it was a relationship that developed over time, with both parties contributing to its growth. Felines that exhibited a greater comfort around humans and a higher tolerance for close living conditions flourished in these settings. Through the ages, these characteristics flourished, shaping the domestic house felines we recognize in the present day. Fascinatingly, domestic house felines retain a level of wildness that dogs have largely shed. They have preserved a significant amount of their autonomy and a plethora of their untamed instincts. This is a piece of what renders them captivating. They stand by our side as friends, yet their spirits remain untamed, holding the ancient essence of the lone predators that once ventured close to human hearths millennia ago. The soothing sound of a cat's purring sound comes from the quick vibrations of the muscles in its larynx. The gentle hum of a cat's purring sound is among the most calming and enigmatic sounds found in the natural world. For ages, researchers have pondered the precise process behind the soothing sound of a cat's purring sound. Purring sounding is now recognized as the result of the swift vibrations of the muscles in the larynx, or voice box. The muscles rhythmically adjust the gap between the vocal cords, known as the glottis, operating at a speed of 25 to 50 times each second. With each gentle inhalation and exhalation, the air dances through the vibrating larynx, producing the familiar, soothing rumble we recognize as a purring sound. The fascinating aspect of purring sounding lies in the fact that domestic house felines can maintain this soothing sound even as they breathe, a unique ability that sets it apart from most other vocal sounds that depend on a certain breathing rhythm. A cat can purring sound while munching, while being stroked, and even during the miracle of giving birth. The purring sound isn't merely one sound. It's a symphony of frequencies and patterns that express a variety of emotions. A gentle, rhythmic, purring sound often signifies a state of bliss and tranquility. A more intense, pressing purring sound could signal a desire for food or a need for attention. Domestic house felines sometimes purring sound when feeling anxious or in discomfort, harnessing the vibrations to calm themselves. The purring sound serves as a unique language, allowing domestic house felines to convey their feelings and forge connections with both fellow felines and their human friends. The vibrissae of a cat can reveal its emotions, extending forward in curiosity and laying flat in fear. Vibrissae serve as both sensory instruments and reflections of a cat's feelings. As a cat's curiosity peaks or its interest is sparked, its vibrissae stretch forward, fanning out to capture every feline tail in its surroundings. This advantageous stance enables the cat to detect objects ahead with greater precision, proving beneficial when exploring unfamiliar territory or getting ready to spring on its next meal. In a state of tranquility and satisfaction, a cat's vibrissae settle into a calm position, softly outlining its face. In moments of fear or defensiveness, a cat's vibrissae will press flat against its face. This serves as a safeguard, drawing the delicate vibrissae away from danger and streamlining the cat's silhouette. This serves as an unmistakable indication to onlookers that the cat is experiencing a sense of threat. Understanding the alignment of a cat's vibrissae, along with various body language signals, can significantly enhance the interaction between felines and their human companions. This enables you to react suitably to the cat's feelings, providing solace during moments of anxiety, joining in on play when curiosity strikes, or allowing distance when fear takes hold. The vibrissae engage in a lively dialogue, offering a continuous insight into the cat's thoughts and feelings. Certain domestic house felines are more chatty than their companions, influenced by their breed and unique personalities. The extent to which a cat expresses itself through vocalizations can differ greatly from one feline to another. Certain felines are quite vocal, often meowing to engage with their humans, sharing their thoughts on everything from dinner times to the day's forecast. Some remain nearly mute, expressing themselves mainly through gestures and only speaking in particular circumstances. The breed has a crucial impact on how vocalizations are expressed. Siamese and Oriental breeds are famously vocal, boasting loud and persistent voices that make their presence known. They frequently partake in what appears to be dialogue with their humans, answering inquiries and expressing their desires. Conversely, breeds such as the British Shorthair or the Norwegian Forest Cat are often characterized by their calm and reserved demeanor. However, the uniqueness of each personality is equally important as the breed itself. In every breed, there are those who love to chat and those who prefer silence. Certain felines discover that meowing yields rewards, whether it's a tasty treat or some much-desired attention, and they tend to employ this tactic often. Some discover that their desires are fulfilled without uttering a word, leading them to stay quiet. For those who cherish a lively, engaging bond with their feline friend, a chatty cat can be a true joy. If you seek a more serene companion, a cat with a softer meow may be the ideal choice. Recognizing and valuing your cat's unique way of communicating, be it through vocalizations or quietude, is essential to honoring its distinct personality. When feeling happy, domestic house felines often knead or create little biscuits on soft surfaces. There are few sights as charming as a cat kneading, its feline paws moving in a gentle rhythm against a cozy surface, be it a blanket, a pillow, or your lap. This action, often referred to as making biscuits due to its similarity to kneading dough, is a soothing habit that traces back to the days of being a kitten. As baby cats suckle, they rhythmically press their tiny feline paws against their mother's belly, encouraging the milk to flow. The act intertwines with feelings of comfort, security, and sustenance. Numerous grown domestic house felines continue to exhibit this behavior, kneading when they are especially happy and at ease. Domestic house felines often knead before curling up for a nap, crafting a cozy little nest for themselves. Some pets massage their humans, showcasing a profound bond and confidence. The cat connects you to the warmth and safety it experienced with its mother. Certain felines emit a resonant purring sound as they knead, and some may even let a bit of drool escape. They are completely enveloped in the feeling of bliss. Though the sensation of a cat's claws can be a bit prickly, it's essential to understand that this action is not rooted in aggression. It embodies joy. Softly guiding the cat to knead a cozy blanket or offering a plush surface can be beneficial, but it's important to never scold a cat for this behavior. Such a delicate and gentle action, and reacting with severity, can fracture the bond of trust that exists between you. Domestic house felines frequently trail their humans from one room to another, driven by their inquisitive nature or fondness. Have you ever caught your cat shadowing your every step, quietly padding along as you transition from one room to another? You may find yourself pondering the reason behind this curious behavior. Is the feline keeping an eye on you? Is it dull? The response frequently intertwines elements of curiosity, warmth, and the connections we forge with others. Domestic house felines possess a surprising social nature that often goes unrecognized, and many develop profound bonds with their human friends. The cat trails behind you, eager to maintain that bond, to be involved in every moment, and to catch all the intriguing happenings around it. It serves as a symbol of confidence. A cat that trails behind you feels at ease around you and relishes your companionship. At times, the cat might be yearning for some engagement, whether it's a playful romp or a gentle stroke, or it could just desire your company. This behavior tends to be more prevalent among domestic house felines that have formed a deep bond with their humans, seeing them as a source of comfort and companionship. Even the most independent domestic house felines, who might not crave lap time or incessant petting, frequently take pleasure in being nearby their humans, watching from a cozy distance. The human's presence brings a comforting sense of safety and familiarity, a steady anchor in the cat's universe. The gentle purring sounding of a cat has a calming effect on people and might even help reduce blood pressure. For centuries, the soothing power of a cat's purring sound has been acknowledged through stories and experiences, and now, contemporary studies are starting to validate what cat lovers have always believed. Stroking a contented cat can ease tension, decrease blood pressure, and foster a feeling of tranquility and happiness. The soothing hum of the purring sound, paired with the gentle glide of fingers over velvety fur, fosters a tranquil state of mind. The soothing frequency of a cat's purring sound, usually ranging from 25 to 50 Hz, falls within a spectrum known to encourage tissue repair and alleviate pain for both felines and humans alike. Research indicates that these vibrations may enhance bone density and support the healing process of fractures. Although further investigation is required to completely grasp the underlying processes, the advantages are evident to anyone who has experienced the soothing sensation of tension dissipating while cradling a purring-sounding feline. The gentle purring sound is a treasure bestowed by domestic house felines, a melody of satisfaction that echoes beyond the feline, reaching the heart of anyone who listens and experiences it. Amidst the chaos and clamor of life, finding solace in the gentle presence of a purring-sounding cat can transform a moment into a sanctuary of tranquility. Domestic house felines dedicate a significant portion of their active hours to hunting or engaging in playful simulations of the hunt. Even felines that have never experienced hunger or the necessity to hunt still possess a strong instinct to partake in hunting activities. This urge doesn't vanish just because sustenance is offered. Rather, it finds its voice in the realm of play. In the world of a domestic cat, toys transform into enticing prey stand-ins. A delicate feather wand flutters like a bird. A playful toy mouse dashes across the floor, transforming into a creature to be pursued. And a ball that rolls in unexpected directions turns into an elusive prize. Participating in these playful activities is far from trivial. The well-being of the cat, both mentally and physically, is of utmost importance. In its playful antics, the cat hones the abilities it would need in the wild, fine-tuning its reflexes, keeping its muscles toned, and fulfilling its primal instincts. A cat that lacks chances to engage in hunting, even through play, may experience boredom and frustration, potentially leading to issues like aggression or destructive tendencies. Engaging in playful interactions, where a person employs a toy to imitate the unpredictable motions of prey, offers a way to channel this energy. The feline prowls, darts, leaps, and seizes, reveling in the thrill of a triumphant chase. Offering this outlet stands as a crucial aspect of a cat owner's responsibility in safeguarding their feline's happiness and health. The claws of a cat grow perpetually, shedding in layers as they do so. Similar to human nails, a cat's claws keep growing steadily over its lifetime. In contrast to nails that we cut, a cat naturally keeps its claws in check by shedding them over time. The outer layer of the claw, when it shows signs of wear or damage, is cast off to unveil a fresh, sharp claw beneath. Occasionally, you may stumble upon tiny, see-through claw sheaths scattered around your home, especially close to scratching posts or spots where your cat loves to scratch. Scratching fulfills various functions. The old claw sheath is shed away. It establishes its domain with both the evident scratches and the aroma left by glands in its feline paws. It offers a delightful stretch for the muscles in the cat's legs, shoulders, and back. Since claw growth and shedding happen all the time, scratching becomes a behavior that lasts a lifetime. Domestic house felines require suitable surfaces for scratching, be it a scratching post, a cat tree, or a specific piece of furniture designed for that purpose. Attempting to prevent a cat from scratching completely is not just pointless, but also unjust to the feline. It's akin to telling someone they should never trim their nails. The aim is to offer suitable alternatives for the behavior and guide the cat away from unsuitable areas. Grasping the biological need for scratching paves the way for more empathetic and efficient handling of this behavior. A surprised cat might raise its back and fluff up its fur to seem more imposing. When a cat experiences fear or perceives danger, its body goes through a striking change. The feline contorts its body into a dramatic arc, shifting sideways to showcase its full silhouette, while its fur fluffs up in a display known as piloerection. The feline tail transforms into a spiky bottle brush, and the cat might rise up on its toes to gain extra elevation. This setup aims to showcase the cat in a way that emphasizes its size and ferocity, serving as a clever ruse to ward off any would-be threats. In the untamed world, looking bigger can mean the difference between sidestepping a confrontation and facing injury. Although domestic house felines seldom encounter such dangers, the instinct persists. The cat's back arches and its fur fluffs up in response to anything it senses as a threat, whether it's a startling sound or an unknown creature nearby. This display should be seen as a manifestation of fear rather than aggression, though a scared cat might strike if it feels trapped. The ideal approach is to eliminate the sensed danger if feasible, allowing the cat the outer astrocat mission and time it needs to settle down. Whispering gently, taking deliberate steps, and giving the cat outer astrocat mission to find a cozy hideaway will restore its sense of safety. The curved spine and fluffed up fur reveal the cat's feelings, indicating a desire for comfort and security. Domestic house felines employ a unique hunting strategy known as the stalk and pounce. A cat's hunting behavior unfolds in a consistent pattern, honed through millions of years of evolution. The scene unfolds with a stealthy approach. As the cat glides gracefully, its form crouched low, eyes locked onto its unsuspecting prey, the feline halts intermittently, gauging the outer astrocat mission and moment. This isn't a matter of uncertainty, it's a deliberate assessment. Each muscle is taut, every sense is razor sharp. The feline tail flickers ever so gently, the sole sign of life as the feline creeps forward. Next arrives the leap. With a burst of energy, the cat springs into action, closing the gap in the blink of an eye. The forelimbs stretch forth, talons bared to seize the quarry. Upon a successful leap, the feline strikes with a precise bite, often targeting the nape, swiftly severing the spinal cord and ensuring a quick demise for its prey. This approach is both streamlined and impactful, reducing the likelihood of harm to the cat while enhancing the probability of a fruitful hunt. Domestic house felines engage in this sequence repeatedly, even during their playful antics. A toy skids across the floor, igniting the instinct to stalk, and then comes the swift pounce. Observing a cat in action, be it with its prey or a playful toy, reveals the essence of a predator in motion, each movement calculated and intentional. Domestic house felines frequently find themselves dozing in sunlit areas, irresistibly attracted to the comforting warmth. A classic scene featuring a cat is the sight of a furry companion nestled in a sunlit spot, soaking up the cozy rays. Domestic house felines have a natural affinity for warm spots, a preference that stems from their biology and the comfort it provides. The body temperature of a cat usually ranges from 101 to 102.5 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a bit warmer than that of a human. Domestic house felines instinctively hunt for cozy nooks to keep their bodies warm while conserving energy. The sun's warm embrace envelops the cat, soothing its body and inviting a deeper sense of relaxation. Moreover, heat provides a comforting relief to muscles and joints, which can be especially beneficial for senior domestic house felines dealing with stiffness or unease. The allure of sunny spots could very well be an instinct inherited from the cat's ancestors, who thrived in desert environments and relished basking in the warmth during the cooler hours of the day. For indoor felines, sunlit windowsills and warm spots on the floor where rays of light pour in transform into coveted snoozing havens. Throughout the day, as the sun shifts, you may observe your cat gracefully trailing the warmth. Allowing domestic house felines to bask in sunny areas is an effortless method to improve their well-being, bringing them joy and relaxation without any work on the owner's part. The feline tail of a cat plays a crucial role in keeping it steady while it climbs or leaps. While many view the feline tail as just a pretty accessory or a way to convey messages, it actually plays a crucial role in physical functionality too. The feline tail of a cat serves as a balancing tool, aiding the feline in keeping its stability while traversing tight outer astrocat missions, making quick turns, or performing intricate leaps. As a cat gracefully traverses a fence or a slender ledge, its feline tail sways gently from side to side, skillfully balancing its center of gravity and warding off any tumbles. As a cat leaps into the air, its feline tail acts as a source of extra momentum, aiding in its graceful control. In the event of a fall, the feline tail becomes an essential element of the intricate mechanism that enables the cat to rotate its body and touch down on its feet with poise. The feline tail serves as a crucial tool for maintaining balance during swift pursuits and abrupt turns, a frequent occurrence when felines are on the hunt or engaging in playful antics. Domestic house felines that sport short feline tails or lack them entirely, like the Manx breed, manage to keep their balance by adapting in other ways. Yet the feline tail remains an undeniably handy asset. Observing a cat in motion, the delicate flicks and sways of its feline tail showcase the essential role it plays in the creature's elegance and nimbleness. It serves as more than just an accessory. It plays a vital role in almost every movement the cat makes. Numerous felines relish elevated spots as they offer a feeling of safety and dominance. In the wilderness, height brings security. A feline, nestled atop a tree branch or a rugged cliff, finds safety from various ground-based threats while enjoying a prime spot to survey its domain. This behavior continues in domestic house felines, who frequently look for the tallest spots in their surroundings. A bookshelf's peak, a cat tree's summit, or the rear of a couch all act as lofty perches from which the feline can oversee its kingdom. Perched at this vantage point, the cat observes the daily hustle and bustle of its human companions, keeping an eye out for anything out of the ordinary or captivating, all while basking in the power of its domain. Elevated spots offer a refuge from unwelcome encounters. When a cat finds itself surrounded by an energetic dog, a playful child, or just an abundance of commotion, it often seeks refuge in a lofty perch where it can feel secure, creating vertical outer astrocat mission for domestic house felines, whether through cat trees, shelves, or cleared furniture tops, is essential for fostering a stimulating environment. This enables the cat to showcase its instinctive behaviors, alleviates tension, and provides the feline with choices on how and where to enjoy its day. A cat with the freedom to explore vertical outer astrocat missions tends to be a more joyful and self-assured feline. Domestic house. House felines possess a unique, nictitating membrane that serves to shield and hydrate their eyes. While many are acquainted with a cat's upper and lower eyelids, few realize the existence of the nictitating membrane, known as the nictitating membrane, or hole. This delicate, see-through layer resides in the inner corner of the eye, capable of gliding horizontally to offer additional safeguarding and hydration. In a well cat, the nictitating membrane typically remains hidden, nestled in the corner of the eye. It might make a fleeting appearance when the cat is in a state of deep relaxation, just stirring from slumber, or while indulging in a leisurely blink. Yet, when the nictitating membrane remains constantly in view, obscuring a portion of the eye, it may indicate an underlying issue such as illness, injury, or dehydration. The nictitating membrane plays a variety of crucial roles. It shields the eye from harmful particles and potential harm, especially when the feline navigates thick foliage or is involved in a skirmish. It aids in spreading tears uniformly over the eye's surface, ensuring it remains hydrated and clear. Many animals, such as birds, reptiles, and certain mammals, possess a fascinating feature known as a nictitating membrane. This serves as a testament to the shared evolutionary journey of all beings, a timeless adaptation that endures due to its ongoing effectiveness. Domestic house felines often show their love by grooming their humans with gentle licks. When your cat gives you a lick, be it on your hand, arm, or even your face, it's participating in a delightful ritual known as allo-grooming. Within cat colonies and among closely bonded felines, the act of mutual grooming emerges as a prevalent social interaction. It fortifies connections, conveys love, and aids in upholding tidiness. When a cat licks you, it's showing you that you're part of its inner circle, offering the same affection and consideration it would give to a fellow feline it holds dear. The coarse feel of a cat's tongue might bring a hint of discomfort to humans, yet the underlying intention is one of love. The feline is mingling its aroma with you, strengthening the connection and showcasing its trust. Certain domestic house felines shower their humans with licks often, while others might do so only on rare occasions. This variation reflects the uniqueness of each person's character. Not every cat shows affection in the same way. Some prefer to express their love through proximity, gentle, slow blinks, or even by presenting little treasures. Recognizing that licking serves as a complement and a symbol of social connection can enhance your appreciation for the gesture, even if it seems somewhat unusual. Domestic house. House felines express their affection in various ways, employing instinctive and significant behaviors that resonate within their realm. Throughout history, domestic house felines have been intertwined with the realms of witchcraft and superstition. Throughout the ages, domestic house felines have been enveloped in legends and folklore, especially in Europe during the medieval period. Specifically, black domestic house felines were frequently linked to the realm of witchcraft. Legends whispered of witches who could morph into domestic house felines, or that these enigmatic felines acted as mystical companions, aiding those who dabbled in the arcane arts. This connection resulted in the rampant mistreatment of domestic house felines, particularly those with black fur, who were frequently slaughtered alongside those accused of witchcraft. Interestingly, the widespread extermination of domestic house felines might have played a role in the proliferation of the bubonic plague, as the unchecked rat populations surged in their absence. Throughout history, different cultures have held diverse views on domestic house felines. In certain cultures, domestic house felines were regarded as omens of misfortune, especially when a black cat happened to cross your path. In some cultures, domestic house felines were seen as symbols of good fortune, guardians of the household, and harbingers of prosperity. In Japan, the maneki neko, also known as the beckoning cat, is a charm thought to attract wealth and good fortune. In spite of the shadowy past of superstition, domestic house felines have not only survived but flourished. Today, they stand as cherished companions across the globe, their enigmatic qualities embraced as a delightful aspect of their allure, rather than a cause for apprehension. The old superstitions may have dimmed, yet the allure of domestic house felines endures with unwavering intensity. A feline might offer its backside as a warm welcome, a curious action that often leaves new cat owners scratching their heads, especially when a cat saunters over and turns around, showcasing its rear end right in front of you. Though it may come off as impolite or unappealing to us, in the world of domestic house felines, this action is a sign of friendship and trust. When felines meet, they frequently engage in a curious ritual of sniffing each other's behinds to collect scent-based information. The anal glands found in this region offer a treasure trove of insights into identity, well-being, and emotional state. When the cat turns its back to you, it's sharing a message, essentially declaring, "Here I am. This is my true self." This act embodies trust and transparency. Although humans lack the keen scent-detecting skills of domestic house felines, the feline remains blissfully unaware of this fact. It's just acting on its natural instincts, interacting with you like it would with any other feline. Instead of pulling away in horror, the right approach is to recognize the cat's greeting in a manner it can comprehend, maybe by gently stroking its back or head, or by giving a slow blink. With patience, you can subtly guide the cat to showcase its side or head instead. But grasping the motivation behind the action is key to preserving your connection. This serves as yet another illustration of the unique ways in which domestic house felines express themselves, and understanding their language is essential for fostering a peaceful bond. Domestic house felines possess an instinctual prowess for hunting. Even in the absence of ever encountering prey, The hunting instinct in domestic house felines is inherent, existing from the moment they are born and needing no instruction or prior experience to surface. A kitten brought up solely inside, untouched by the sights of mice or birds, will nonetheless display hunting instincts when faced with the appropriate triggers. A glimpse of something tiny darting about, be it a toy, an insect, or a mere strand of string, ignites the primal urge to creep and leap. The neural pathways that dictate hunting behavior are ingrained in the cat's brain, requiring no learning process. Yet, honing these abilities thrives on practice, and in nature, through watching the mother and engaging in play with siblings. A cat that has never experienced the thrill of the hunt might not possess the same skills as one that has, yet the instinct and fundamental movements are inherently present. This explains why even satisfied domestic house felines still exhibit hunting instincts. It's not merely hunger, it's about satisfying a profound biological urge. Understanding this enables cat owners to offer suitable outlets, engaging play that simulates the thrill of the hunt, enabling the cat to stealthily stalk, energetically chase, skillfully pounce, and successfully capture a toy, fulfills this natural instinct in a secure and managed environment, resulting in a more joyful and well-adjusted feline. Felines tend to come alive under the moonlight, driven by their instinctual hunting behavior. Although domestic house felines have adjusted to our routines to a degree, they still tend to be most lively at dawn and dusk, a behavior passed down from their wild forebears. This twilight behavior can occasionally spill over into the night, giving domestic house felines an appearance of being more nocturnal than they actually are. This surge in nocturnal behavior stems from the cat's instinctual nature as a hunter. A variety of creatures that domestic house felines pursue, especially tiny rodents, tend to be most active during the dusky and nocturnal hours. The cat's natural rhythm has been finely tuned over millions of years, evolving to hunt when prey is plentiful, and the cloak of twilight offers a strategic edge. For indoor felines, this often shows up as sudden surges of energy during the late hours of the night or the crack of dawn, a phenomenon affectionately known as the midnight zoomies. The feline dashes through the home, leaps at unseen targets, and immerses itself in spirited antics. Although this may interrupt the slumber of humans, it's merely the cat acting on its innate instincts. Engaging in playful activities during the evening can effectively wear the cat out, helping to sync its lively moments with the hours when humans are awake. Grasping and respecting a cat's inherent patterns fosters a harmonious living environment. The color of a cat's fur can occasionally reveal hints about its personality or lineage. Although it's risky to make sweeping statements, there are intriguing connections between fur, color, and specific characteristics in domestic house felines, primarily tied to breed tendencies rather than the color alone. Take, for instance, orange or ginger, domestic house felines. They are frequently characterized as especially sociable and lively. The prevalence of orange coloring might stem from specific breeds celebrated for their friendly natures. Additionally, since the orange hue is associated with the X chromosome, it leads to a higher occurrence of male orange domestic house felines, who are often more extroverted. Calico and tortoiseshell, domestic house felines, predominantly female because of their unique coloring genetics, are often described as having a distinct personality known as tortitude, full of spirit, independence, and a touch of feistiness. This isn't a strict guideline, but rather a common insight shared by numerous cat owners. Despite the unfortunate superstitions that surround them, black, domestic house felines are frequently portrayed as loving and tender companions. White, domestic house felines boasting striking blue eyes, might experience a greater likelihood of deafness stemming from genetic influences which can shape their behavior and interactions with the world around them. These are broad observations, and each cat possesses its own unique personality. Gaining insight into a cat's temperament can be enhanced by exploring the potential breed lineage or genetic makeup linked to specific color patterns. In the end, personality is crafted by a blend of genetics, formative experiences, and surroundings, rather than merely the hue of the fur. Domestic house felines made their mark in history with the first feline astronaut, who was launched into outer Astrocat mission in 1963. The tale of felines venturing into the cosmos is a brief yet captivating segment in the annals of outer Astrocat mission exploration. On the 18th of October, 1963, France sent a feline named Astrocat Félicette into the cosmos, embarking on a research mission to explore the impacts of outer Astrocat mission travel on living beings. Astrocat Félicette, occasionally noted in documents as Astrocat, was a petite black and white stray feline hailing from Paris. Electrodes were attached to her, tracking her brain activity throughout the flight. The journey was short, lasting only 15 minutes, during which Astrocat Félicette enjoyed around 5 minutes of weightlessness before the capsule gently descended back to Earth with a parachute. She emerged from the expedition, providing crucial insights into the workings of the brain in a zero-gravity environment. Regrettably, a few months later, Astrocat Félicette was put to sleep so that scientists could examine her brain. For many years, her impact on science faded into obscurity. Yet lately, her narrative has sparked a resurgence of fascination. In 2018, a statue was unveiled to celebrate her remarkable journey as the first and only cat to venture into outer Astrocat mission. The tale of Astrocat Félicette serves as a poignant reminder of the countless animals that have played pivotal roles in humanity's journey into the cosmos, frequently at significant personal sacrifice. A cat's recollection can stretch back for years, especially for important moments or locations. Domestic house felines possess remarkable long-term memories, especially for experiences or locations that hold deep emotional meaning. A cat, once a playful kitten in a certain home, might find its way back years later, moving through the outer Astrocat mission with a sense of nostalgia and ease. In a similar vein, a cat might retain the memory of a distressing event, like a trip to the vet or a scary run-in with a dog, and respond with fear or evasion long after the incident has passed. This enduring memory is crucial for survival. In the untamed world, a feline must keep track of dependable food caches, secure refuge areas, and the domains of competing domestic house felines. It should retain the memory of what was perilous and what was secure. Domestic house felines possess this ability, keeping knowledge that aids them in exploring their environment and making choices. Early experiences hold immense significance for various reasons. A kitten that experiences friendly encounters with humans, dogs, and fellow felines during its crucial socialization phase, usually from 2 to 7 weeks old, is more likely to grow into a confident and well-adjusted adult. On the flip side, a kitten that encounters terrifying or distressing experiences during this period might hold on to those memories and the fears that come with them for a lifetime. Recognizing the significance of memory in our feline friends inspires us to foster uplifting moments and approach them with kindness and empathy, aware that today's interactions can linger in their minds for a long time. Domestic house felines have the ability to identify their owner's voice, yet they often opt to remain unresponsive. One of the delightful, yet sometimes exasperating features of cohabiting with a cat is its whimsical approach to engaging with human dialogue. Research indicates that felines are capable of recognizing their owner's voice, setting it apart from the sounds of unfamiliar individuals. Domestic house felines displayed faint signs of recognition, like twitching ears and turning heads, when they listened to recordings of various individuals calling their names, particularly responding to the sound of their owner's voice. Yet, numerous domestic house felines refrained from physically moving closer or making any sounds, despite their evident recognition of the voice. This isn't due to domestic house felines being less clever than dogs or having weaker connections with their humans. Domestic house felines are inherently more self-reliant, which is part of their charm. In nature, felines are independent stalkers, thriving on their own skills rather than depending on the teamwork seen in canines. They haven't been cultivated through the ages to react instantly to human cues. A cat that recognizes its name, yet decides to stay away, is not acting out of disobedience. It is merely asserting its independence. The feline hears the summons, but weighs if the moment calls for action. The freedom that comes with having a cat is a cherished trait for many enthusiasts. They do not submit. They are companions who embrace their own decisions, and when they opt to respond, to arrive when beckoned, to pursue your presence, it carries a deeper significance because it was offered willingly. The ancient Egyptian civilizations expressed profound sorrow for their feline companions, occasionally shaving their eyebrows as a sign of their mourning. In the time of ancient Egyptian civilization, the passing of a beloved household cat was a momentous occasion, embraced with heartfelt sorrow. In the wake of a cat's passing, family members would remove their eyebrows, a poignant expression of sorrow, a visible mark of their mourning. The feline form would be meticulously preserved, lovingly enveloped in linen, and occasionally nestled within elaborate coffins or decorative boxes. In dedicated cemeteries, these mummified domestic house felines found their final resting place, often accompanied by offerings of food and tiny mummified mice, all prepared for their journey into the afterlife. The profound care and ceremonial practices associated with a cat's passing reflect the immense respect that Egyptians had for these beloved creatures. Domestic house felines transcended the roles of mere pets or utilitarian creatures. They held a sacred essence, intertwined with the divine, worthy of reverence in their passing just as in their existence. This approach might appear radical by today's norms, yet it embodies a perspective where animals were regarded as having profound spiritual importance. In today's world, although we don't preserve our domestic house felines like ancient Egyptian civilizations, the sorrow felt at the passing of a beloved feline friend is deeply profound for many. The connection shared between humans and domestic house felines can be profound and lasting, and grieving that absence is a normal and healthy reaction. The ancient Egyptian civilizations recognized a profound truth that still resonates today. Domestic house felines transcend the role of mere pets. They are allies, kin, and for many, a link to a larger purpose. The feline paws of a cat possess remarkable sensitivity, allowing them to sense vibrations beneath the surface of the ground. The feline paws of a cat serve a purpose beyond mere movement. These are incredibly responsive, touch-oriented structures that offer a rich array of insights about the surroundings. The paw pads are rich with nerve endings, allowing them to sense texture, temperature, and even the faintest vibrations. This keen awareness enables a cat to glide effortlessly and adapt its steps on irregular terrain. The pads enable the cat to detect vibrations in the earth, alerting it to the presence of nearby prey, even when that prey is concealed from sight. The paw pads, besides being sensitive, also house scent glands. As a cat scratches an object, it doesn't just leave behind a visible trace. It also releases scent from its glands, marking the item as a piece of its domain. The feline paws play a crucial role in the grooming process. Domestic, house felines groom their feline paws and then use them to clean their faces and ears, spots that are out of reach for their tongues. The nimbleness and finesse of a cat's feline paws transform them into adaptable instruments for stalking prey, scaling heights, maintaining their coat, and expressing themselves. Observing a cat at play, whether it's swatting a toy, kneading a cozy blanket, or gently brushing against your hand, reveals a masterful tool of extraordinary finesse and delicacy. Domestic house felines occasionally show a gentle, slow blink, signaling their love and trust. The gentle blink is a delicate and enchanting way for domestic house felines and humans to connect with one another. When a feline gazes at you, gently shuts its eyes, takes a moment, and then reopens them, it is extending a sign of trust and love. In the realm of feline communication, a direct gaze may be interpreted as a bold challenge or a looming threat. The cat's slow blink conveys a message. I feel secure with you. I trust you enough to let my guard down and close my eyes around you. This action is often referred to as a cat kiss, and it can be returned. When you softly blink at a cat while maintaining gentle eye contact, you'll often find that many domestic house felines will reciprocate with a slow blink, fostering a quiet moment of connection and warmth. This method of interaction is especially beneficial for timid or anxious domestic house felines, as it remains gentle and honors their personal boundaries. In contrast to the need for physical touch when interacting with a cat, which can sometimes be too much, a slow blink serves as a soft, unobtrusive gesture that conveys affection and goodwill from afar. A simple act, yet it has the power to strengthen the connection between human and cat, fostering trust and comprehension through a silent language that goes beyond words. A cat that has been well socialized feels at ease around different people and in various situations. The journey of a cat's growth hinges on socialization, especially in those vital early months of life. From around 2 to 7 weeks old, baby cats are highly open to new experiences, and the things they encounter during this crucial period significantly influence their comfort and behavior in adulthood. A kitten that experiences gentle handling from various individuals encounters a range of sounds, sights, and scenarios, and is permitted to engage positively with other animals, is more likely to develop into a self-assured, well-balanced cat. On the flip side, a kitten that experiences isolation, rough handling, or is confined to a narrow environment might develop fearfulness, shyness, or aggression when faced with new situations. The journey of socialization continues beyond the age of 7 weeks, even if that critical period holds the most significance. Domestic house felines have the ability to learn and adapt at any stage of their lives, although it often requires a bit more time and a touch of patience. For adult domestic house felines that missed out on socialization during their kitten days, a gentle introduction to new experiences, paired with positive reinforcement and a keen awareness of their comfort zones, can foster greater confidence. A cat that is well socialized brings happiness to any home, feeling at ease in various circumstances, calm around guests, and flexible with shifts in daily life. A treasure that starts with the nurturing and focus provided in those vital first weeks. Domestic house felines possess a remarkable ability to conceal their ailments, a characteristic passed down from their wild forebears. In the wilderness, showing signs of weakness or illness can be perilous. Predators seek out the weak, and social creatures might find themselves left behind by their pack if they fail to keep pace. Consequently, domestic house felines have adapted to conceal indications of sickness or harm for as long as they can. This instinct remains strong in domestic house felines, often making it difficult for owners to notice when their feline friend is not feeling well. A cat that is unwell might still eat, groom itself, and move about as usual, only showing signs of its illness when it has progressed significantly. Nuanced shifts in behavior, like increased time spent in hiding, alterations in appetite or litter box routines, reduced grooming, or variations in vocal sounds, may serve as preliminary indicators. Cat owners need to be vigilant and in tune with their feline's usual antics to spot any signs that something isn't quite right. Consistent visits to the vet are crucial, as they can uncover problems that might not be apparent to the pet owner just yet. Recognizing that domestic house felines conceal their ailments is not a shortcoming, but rather a survival mechanism, inspires us to be more observant and proactive in keeping an eye on their well-being. Caring for a cat means being in tune with their subtle cues, noticing the little shifts that could suggest something isn't quite right. A feline's perception of time is closely linked to their daily habits and the signals from their surroundings. Domestic house felines may not grasp the concept of time like we do, but they possess a remarkable knack for predicting happenings through familiar routines and environmental signals. A cat appears to sense when dinner is approaching, not due to its ability to tell time, but because it has absorbed the rhythms of the home, the slant of the sunlight, the familiar sounds of your movements, and the hour you usually return from work. The cat relies on all these signals to anticipate what comes next. This is the reason domestic house felines frequently show up at the food bowl even before you've had a chance to grab the bag of food. They have grasped the order of happenings that culminate in mealtime and can foresee it with astonishing precision. Their keen attachment to routine explains why alterations in their schedule can lead to stress for domestic house felines. A feline accustomed to its feeding schedule or the presence of its human during the day might exhibit signs of anxiety or disruptive behavior if that routine is unexpectedly altered. Keeping a steady daily routine allows domestic house felines to feel safe and minimizes their stress levels. When adjustments are needed, easing into transitions and incorporating fresh routines can assist the cat in adapting. Grasping the way domestic house felines perceive time highlights that for them, consistency and habit provide a sense of ease and safety. Throughout history, domestic house felines have shared their lives with renowned figures and artists alike. Across the ages, countless remarkable figures have discovered both companionship and motivation in their feline friends. It appears that writers, especially, share a special bond with their cat companions. Ernest Hemingway had a well-known affection for his polydactyl domestic house felines, and his residence in Key West continues to shelter their descendants to this day. Mark Twain had a deep affection for his feline companions, and his residence was perpetually brimming with their presence. Eliot crafted a delightful assortment of playful poems centered around domestic house felines, which eventually inspired the creation of the musical Domestic House Felines. Within the realm of artistry, renowned painters like Pablo Picasso, Henri Matisse, and Andy Warhol were celebrated for their affection towards domestic house felines, with these beloved felines making appearances in their creations. Even those at the helm of leadership and the forefront of science have intertwined their lives with the companionship of domestic house felines. Winston Churchill owned a marmalade cat named Jock, who offered solace in challenging moments. Albert Einstein owned a cat called Tiger, and he was recognized for soothing the feline whenever it seemed downcast. These tales highlight the timeless connection that exists between humans and domestic house felines, crossing boundaries of culture and occupation. regardless of whether one is an artist, a scientist, a writer, or a statesman. Domestic house felines have served as a wellspring of companionship, solace, and creative spark. A cat's presence soothes the mind, providing a quiet companion through endless work hours, and brings to light the simple joys of warmth, softness, and serene company. And thus, beloved audience, our tender exploration of the feline realm reaches its conclusion. From the arid sands of ancient Egyptian civilization to the warm nooks of modern life, domestic house felines have journeyed alongside us, both self-reliant and loving, enigmatic yet known. They have woven themselves into our homes, our hearts, and our daily routines, providing solace with their gentle purring sounds and companionship through their serene presence. We have delved into the fascinating biology that renders them truly exceptional beings. With their supple spines and hidden claws, alongside their keen senses and fluid motions, we have explored their behaviors, deciphering the meaning behind gentle blinks, feline tail postures, and the soothing kneading of their feline paws. We've explored the ways in which domestic house felines express themselves, the connections they form, and their ability to traverse a realm that blends the comforts of home with the untamed wilderness. Domestic house felines teach us the value of independence, showing that love offered without restraint is truly cherished, and that elegance can be discovered in the most basic actions. They guide us to cherish the everyday and to discover solace in little traditions. They reveal that rest is not idleness, but an essential aspect of existence, and that play is crucial for well-being, regardless of age. Within their gaze, we perceive a spark of intelligence and a thirst for discovery. Within their gentle purring sounds, tranquility envelops us. In their company, we discover a bond that demands little, yet offers so much in return. As you rest here in this moment, maybe with a feline companion nestled next to you, or the cherished memory of one dear to you, allow the soothing embrace of that bond to envelop you. Envision a cat basking in the warm sunlight, sprawled out in utter bliss, its fur shimmering, its breaths deep and tranquil. Envision the gentle vibration of a purring sound, a melody that echoes with tranquility and restoration. Observe a feline meticulously tending to its coat, a cat soaring elegantly from one high spot to the next, a cat snuggling into a cozy ball of fluff and heat. Allow these visuals to softly guide you into slumber. The realm of felines is a tapestry of opposites, where the untamed meets the domesticated, where self-reliance dances with loyalty, and where tranquility is often interrupted by unexpected flurries of activity. There lies a realm that coexists with our own, occasionally intertwining, at times distinct, yet perpetually lingering. As you float in this moment, embrace the serene insight that domestic house felines offer you. They understand the balance between rest and play, recognizing the moments to connect and the times to embrace solitude. They serve as a gentle reminder that life should be embraced with elegance, a sense of wonder, and intervals of profound tranquility. Shut your eyes at this moment. Allow your breath to ease into a gentle rhythm. Embrace the gentle embrace of your resting place, much like a cat searching for the coziest, warmest nook to curl up in. Release the day, the thoughts, the worries. Embrace the profound tranquility that a cat effortlessly embodies, a total yielding to serene silence. There's no task awaiting you, no destination calling your name. Just relax, just inhale, just exist. As you slip into slumber, remember that the domestic house felines of the universe carry on with their timeless dance, basking in golden rays, wandering through the dusk and softly purring sounding in the night. They continue their dance as they always do, elegant and enigmatic, a testament to the enduring nature of certain bonds, a reminder that some ties surpass the limits of time and that in the serene presence of a cat, we discover a tranquility that requires no spoken language. Sleep well, cherished audience. May your dreams be soft, your slumber profound, and may you rise rejuvenated, prepared to embrace a new day with the serene elegance of a cat basking in the morning sun. Rest peacefully. And now, while the gentle sounds of purring still linger in your mind, as you have quietly journeyed through the most wondrous aspects of felines, let things settle down. Imagine lying beside a curled-up cat, the warmth of its tiny body spreading, its steady breathing harmonizing with your slow heartbeat. No need to think. No need to do anything. You've completed a long day, and right now, you deserve to rest deeply, peacefully. The gentle facts about cats that we've explored together tonight, they're not just knowledge. They're a reminder that, in the hustle and bustle of life, there are always small, soft, and loving things, waiting for you to embrace them. Thank you for taking the time to return to tranquility with Sleep Science Top 1. If these moments help you feel at ease, more, easier to breathe, and easier to fall asleep, that's what we hope for every night. And don't forget to like if you feel a little calmer, and subscribe, and turn on notifications, so every night we can return to peace together, where science meets sleep, where the little things become the biggest. And if you want, leave a little comment, good night, or the name of your beloved cat. We will read each line and smile with you. Now, close your eyes. Relax every muscle in your face. Breathe in slowly. Exhale deeply. Let that invisible purr continue to resonate in your chest. Let the warmth of an imaginary cat embrace you. And gently, very gently, you drift into the deepest sleep. Good night, friend of peaceful dreams. Peace. See you tomorrow night, when the Milky Way, the forest, or another cat is waiting for us. Good night, and sweet dreams.